Hey guys, and welcome to Death Before Dishonour. This is the third qualifier of Season 4, and my god, has it been a crazy tournament. We've been currently running for 4 hours, which is pretty damn insane, with the biggest turnout of players we've ever had, rocking in a massive 45 players, which is pretty crazy. But our first two champions in the first semi-final is going to be Tlaxlan Soothsayer up against RTK's very own The Claw. So we're going to have two semi-finals for you guys. They're going to be best of 3 and then a best of 5 final. The other quarterfinals are currently underway. I'm going to go quickly double check to see how good they're all getting on and see who we possibly have. So it looks like one of them has finished. So one of our second semi-finalists will be Faust, who is an incredibly cool dude I've played a couple of times, and he normally ends up stomping me, but is a very nice guy overall. And then we have Ronin versus Lags in the other quarterfinal, which is still being played. So we'll check on those guys, of course, after this matchup. And looks like these guys are having a little bit of fun trying to sort out their factions. And, yeah, looks all good so far. The Claw saying that Sooth has to pick Beastmen, it's the only way. And we'll see how these guys do sort it out. So I'm going to be playing on Tower of Hoef to start with, then playing on Langui and Valley of Thieves. Should be some good fun. How you guys doing today? Is Ninja playing in the second semi-finals? I mean, possibly. Who knows, Aristotle? You're going to have to wait to see, even though I did just kind of reveal it. Prussian Prince! Great to see you, man. Prussian Prince did unfortunately bow out in the quarterfinals after a very strong display. And he's a really cool guy all around as well. Palpatine, I don't think so. Palpatine would nerf in a too bad schemes, though. Perhaps Ninja could appear upon us. We're running his stream. I'll run in. Nah, it's fine, guys. You can sort yourselves out while we let more players do join in. Sooth has to kill second RTK in a row. I broke my losing first round curse today. Man, you played pretty damn good. Soothsayer has not had an easy run. Unfortunately, I can't get the bracket for you guys. It's really annoying. I was trying to set it up, but it only shows like the top corner of the webpage, which is really frustrating. But basically, 45 players, very big vicious group of players overall. We had so many top guns in here. Vicious Satsuma, Tank, Hades, so many good people who didn't make the semi-finals, unfortunately for them, taken out by some good players. And a fellow friend of mine, Poison Ducky, was in the top bracket, and he had to go up against Vicious Satsuma, then Soothsayer, and if he beat him, he'd have to go up against King of the Dead as well. It was an absolute nightmare gauntlet. First game was very close against Sooth, but in the second, I just got destroyed. Man, trust me, at least having one close game against Soothsayer is a massive shout out to your skill level, dude. He is an monster of a player. Looks like he's going to be rocking the green skins as well, the green tide. Oh god, oh god. Talking about flagellants and dreaded double Luminarch build. So it looks like Soothsayer is picking green skins and banning Vampire Counts and Vampire Coast. Of course, green skins, not the best leadership, so it's not a bad shout to scare those guys off. I think Lizman could be a very good pick coming in by The Claw, although the green skins now certainly have some good tools to, rampage opponents and drag them into situations they could otherwise normally avoid. But I believe Cold-Blooded actually takes away the rampage of that small little fungi the green skins can free, which everyone is calling OP at the moment, but we'll see. Sooth was in the death bracket. He was indeed. The death bracket was horrible. The death bracket was indeed horrible. But good stuff. So Faust is going to be one of our second semi-finalists. And then either Ronin, or I've completely forgotten the other guy's name. But Lags. I believe he was fairly new, so we'll see. I tell him to only spend half his money for practice. That's what I tell all my opponents at Aristo, but unfortunately they don't seem to listen. Oh, is V-Claw going to be going high elves? We might see some DLC on DLC action. These guys do a bit of a showdown here. But yeah, massive shout out to all the competitors today. 45 people, it was pretty damn crazy to be honest. And was some good fun overall, some fantastic games, some underdog tales, and all that good stuff. But some of the big guns have made it through as well. And I believe Soothsayer is in fact making his debut on the channel. V-Claw does have a couple of appearances under his belt already, having played in a couple of streams and had some games up on the replay. If you guys do want to get involved, by the way, in tournaments, feel free to join my Discord. There's going to be a link just down below in the description. You can hop in there, and that's where I announce, basically, what's going on. Lizardmen are the best counter to Rampage in the game, says Stormrunner, who certainly knows a thing or two. And Stormrunner, very nice guy. He's been super helpful in helping me admin this tournament, which is quite a gigantic beast with that many matches going on all at the same time and different people messaging and so forth. So it's really helpful to have someone help guide us towards the stream where I feel more at home. V-Claw is going for Dem Lizards. So certainly have some good games. So 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 finals. It's quite fun to see how Death Before Dishonor has developed over the years since our very first tournament back in the day. And yeah, these guys are going to be trying to book their place in the grand finals. This is qualifier 3 of 4. I believe King of the Dead did win the last Death Before Dishonor. And before him, Chosen One, and before him, Zach B. Sane. King of the Dead almost making it through this time, but coming up just a little bit short in a 2-1 series against Soothsayer at Death here. Looks like V-Claw had a build prepared there, very quickly locking it into the Lizardmen. And I think they're certainly one of the best answers to the Greenskins at the moment in the current meta. I want to get involved too when the price pool is high. Just move me to the finals direct. Of course, man. Of course. But I am thinking of doing prizes relatively soon. I don't know if we're going to do it for this season. There was an idea that I would send whoever wins the whole season a rubber duck. That was an idea way back in the first Death Before Dishonor. That instead of a trophy, you would receive like a customized rubber duck, which I think would be pretty cool. But I was kind of waiting for the tournament to grow and so forth before we do delve into that. But things are certainly starting to grow with the number of players and the number of subscribers and stuff, so we're going to have to start doing that type of stuff relatively soon. Let me just pop out here quick and check on the other quarterfinals and Discord, make sure we've got no questions. Looks like we're all good. I think we're all good. So guys, let's just going through a load of different questions in one go here. I think everything is fine. Yeah, we're all good. Cool. Hop back in. Looks like Sooth is still deciding his build, the mastermind, thinking slow here. You can't lose if you don't play. Raptor, that is a great attitude to have in life. Quack quack. What's up, Poison Ducky? How's it going, dude? There we go, looks like these boys are ready to rumble. Poison Ducky, man, you were a true champ this entire tournament, though. Poison Ducky is a very good player, but it's fair to say he was in the bracket of death there, surrounded by foes, but had some really impressive games, taking down Vicious Satsuma, who is a really good player, before having to run into the mighty Soothsayer. Do not put pressure to put any price money. People love you nevertheless. Winky face. That winky face makes it feel a bit more sketchy, man. It's pretty scary stuff. But here we are, Tower of Hoeth, a map largely dominated by a nice open plain, and hopefully, fingers crossed, players don't decide to fight in this horrible forest on the right-hand side, which allows a lot of good tactical advantages and so forth, but is a nightmare to cast on. But let's go through the forces of Soothsayer first, and see what he has in store for us. So it looks like in the front line we're going to have a mixture of the 8-peak loonies. Of course, these guys are fanatics, and the fanatics ability is so goddamn powerful now if you have good micro, and of course he does. Coming in with some Orc boys as well, basic, cheap and cheerful goblins, Savage Orc Biggins, and a decent amount of Savage Orc Biggins actually, which are going to be pretty impressive. They are bigger and harder than your average lads and are huge damage dealers here. They also do come with a nice bonus versus large to help them take down those large threats you'll often see enemies take up against the Greenskins. We do have Orc Arrow Boys and Rusty Arrows for a nice little gun line in the back line. Standard pick, Rusty Arrows will armor sunder the enemy, allowing the Orc Arrow Boys to do a bit more decent damage. We have a nice little hero court here as well, the Goblin Big Boss, who has a really nasty ability on him called They Need Stabbing. Minus 30 armor and 24 melee defense. It's very, very powerful. Looks like we have Wurzag though, one of the only lords not to get too many changes at all, but he's still a fantastic pick overall. Effigy of the Git, and it looks like we have a Brainbuster, and here we go, plus 40 melee attack, which can be used in conjunction, of course, with the Ragnarok Queen to turn into an absolute beast in those big epic fights. But overall, really solid build. Looks like we have some Orc Boar Boys in the flanks as well. Big improvements to these guys. 65 armor just makes them a ton more tanky. Now for the forces of V-Claw, it looks like we have a bit of a Dino Bomb Rush. Oh, this is glorious. Glorious stuff indeed. So we have a skink cohort of Javelins on the flanks, but more hardcore Saurus Warriors who are shielded in the front lines, backed up by a couple more units of skinks. Hidden in the trees, we have a really cool core here. I love Salamander Hunter packs. Anytime anyone brings them, that's the best of 5 doggos. Unfortunately, no Umbral Tide. We do have one Salamander Hunting pack being protected by some Cold One Riders. And then a huge Dino core here in the centre. Bastillodon with Solar Engine can do some decent long-range firepower. We have an Ancient Stegon, Engine of the Gods version, which can do a really deadly beam, but it's pretty hard to hit. But if he gets him into a big blob fight, I suppose it's going to be worthwhile. Interesting to see how he does perform. I'll definitely try to catch those. And we do have Lord Mazda Mundi on top of Zlak. Look at this boy, the ultimate Lovecraftian creature. Going to be coming in with Ruination of Cities, Banishments, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, and Net of Antok. So a huge wide range of abilities, hoping to nuke down Greenskin Mass with all those nasty banishments. These guys are underway. Ready when you are. I love it. Good luck, have fun. Always good to see good sportsmanship. Of course, that is the main thing about playing on the channel. What's up, Wicked D? Hope you're doing all good, man. Go V-Claw. Looks like I've got some people rooting for V-Claw. Hey, Ronan, man. I don't know how your game went. Hopefully, we will see you in the semi-finals. But anyway, here we go. The two forces do start to march towards each other, both following the attacking roll, which is always good to see. Solar Engine just going to be moving up to ping a few shots. Probably going to be targeting down the Arachnoid Queen, you would expect. Or maybe even Wurzag himself can do some pretty decent damage. But it looks like he was a little bit of a coming up short there, a bit of a swing and a miss. Force of Elizabeth are starting to approach. These salamanders are going to have to come out of the trees, so of course they are going to be spotted here. Looks like they're very nastily destroying a small little tower there. But in comes a big shot. Looks like it's focused down at the Savage Orc Arrow Boys. Not a bad pick, as that dagger certainly adds up. A lot of people kind of underestimate the Greenskin gun line, but it can be very powerful, especially up against these big single entities over the course of a whole battle. Looks like the Sword Swords are going to be falling back here as the 8-peak loonies do advance. The reason he's moving back here is he does not want to be caught by those crazy fanatics. He's going to net them in place and allow the rest of the army to push up instead, so he can try and crump them. And it looks like a net is going to be used in conjunction here with Burning Alignment. Really nice play. Is the net going to hold long enough? It looks like it does. And these greenskins are going to get absolutely annihilated to the goblin here. That is insane damage. Look at that. Okay, not quite. Oh, I mean, down to about a quarter health is very, very powerful. Unfortunately, however, though, for V-Claw, as long as there is, I think, like one Night Goblin left, they can still fling out the fanatics. And of course, these guys are unbreakable. But nevertheless, good damage straight off the bat here. Looks like we do have some Spider Hatchlings being summoned here as the Salamander Hunter pack does move forward, getting some nice overarching fire onto the Arachnoid Queen before having to flee back though as Savage Orc Biggins do start to push. And the Lizardmen certainly having to run for the hills at this point, trying to use the high ground as much as possible. Still flinging a few javelins down as they go, and Cold One Riders going to be getting some nice cycle charging in the front line up against the cheap and cheerful Orc Boys, who really don't want to be here, to be honest. They're going to get feasted on quite comfortably, but a lovely counter charge coming in by the Orc Boys. Looks like V-Claw on top of his micro though is going to be falling back. A few of those guys unfortunately getting dragged down and caught up there. They're not taking too much damage. Now the Orc Boar Boys are actually going to be a pretty big problem. The Salamanders really want to focus down that spider, and they can't do that if they're constantly worried about these lads. Frontline is starting to get underway now. In come to 8-peak loonies. Interesting to see if they do drop down there, swing the fanatics down the line. And here we go, and you can just see how much damage they do off the bat. Not huge amounts, actually, I suppose, in this situation, as most of the Saurus were bunched up quite nicely. Big Shield of the Old Ones does come down, and a huge net of Amantok. I'm sorry, that guy's had to burp a little bit. But a big banishment does come down on the Orc Arrow Boys, which have been netted. Really fantastic play. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to the left instead of onto the Durossi Arrows as well. Really good net play so far coming in from the Lizardmen, getting some really dominant early performances. Now, Savage Orc Boys are slowly dragging down at Saurus Warriors, but the war has now been popped, and the Arachnoid Queen is deep in here, hunting down Lord Mazda Mundi, doing some massive damage. But the Salamanders are still online. Some of these Orc Boys are ready to whip around the sides, as the Ruination of Cities does go down, crumping those Orc Arrow Boys very nicely here. Just the arrows still active, as well as the other unit of Savage Orc Boys. Looks like a plus 40 melee attack was popped on these Orc Boar Boys, but they're fallen back, so a little bit of a miss micro there, unfortunately, as the big spider does come in, trying to assassinate that Ancient Stegodon, and it's going to do a pretty fantastic job of it. Really clutch Spider Hatchling Summon in the back, with Orc Boys pushing through as well, has started to put the pressure on the Salamander hunting packs. Now, Lord Mazdamundi will be able to clear these guys up, but as long as the Salamanders aren't helping deal with this front line, the Greenskins are certainly going to start making some headway. And as you can see, the Ancient Stegodon, Apotheosis keeping it in action, but it is slowly being torn down here. Was just doing his best to juke as much as possible, and the Lizardmen are certainly punching back, breaking into this back line with a mixture of Saurus Warriors and Cold One Riders. Looks like some Savage Orcs are trying to get over here to intervene, but Saurus Warriors trying to intercept as well. Nice Brainbuster coming down, helping to clear up these skin cohorts. Going to allow the Goblins to probably end up winning this engagement. It's relatively close. A lot of the Greenskin forces are starting to rally. Balance of power still dead even, and this really could go any which way. Orc Boys trying to push through skin cohorts, which have sacrificed themselves to allow the Salamanders to escape, which is pretty damn key. And a 2v1 action is going on here, as Ragnarok Queen is struggling. He did a decent job on the Ancient Stegodon. He does have Harmonic Convergence popped to him now, but shielded the old ones as well. This Queen is seriously going to suffer. Here we go, plus 40 melee attack is helping turn the tide. And the Umbral Tide, or the basic Salamander, sorry, doing a ton of friendly fire into Lord Mazdamundi, which is really not good. They're trying to arc their shots up and over to make them a far huge amount of less accurate. Looks like actually the shots do manage to hit there. Ancient Stegodon is going down, and the arrows are now starting to focus Lord Mazdamundi, who does have they need stabbing. Really key engagement here. Orc Boys as well starting to push back the Salamander hunting pack. This is so close. This middle engagement is really going to be quite defining. Looks like the Ancient Stegodon did fight to the death here, going down like a true champ, and a war has been popped, and I'm afraid Lord Mazdamundi, this is going to be the end. He can't escape. They need stabbing is active. FG of the Git has pinned him in place, and I think that is going to be game to the Greenskins. But what a tight engagement there. The really good, fantastic, early play of nets, banishments, ruination of cities, nuke down so many of these Greenskins. But without Lord Mazdamundi, the Salamander Hunter Pack are being forced off by Orc Boys. It's just going to be too much. There is Gary left, the solar engine, but he can't. He won't even be able to solo the weakened Arachnarok Queen, to be honest. It looks like the most of the Lizardmen forces are starting to run for the hill, so a pretty brutal and violent game, but it is going to be 1-0 to Tlaxlan Soothsayer and the mighty War. That was insane. You messed up the name plates completely. Oh no! Oh, have I not done the nameplates? I kind of forgot about that. GG. Don't worry, I will change them round. The next map is going to be Langui, or however you say it. People say it in different ways. Oh yes, I didn't end up. I didn't know who was going to be in the other semi-final yet, so let's change the bracket. Dun, dun, dun. Mr. Soothsayer. We'll just go for Sooth for now. And he is 1-0. Sorry about that, guys. Right. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. Looks like the other semi-final is going to be Ronan versus Faust, which is going to be incredibly awesome indeed. GG's. So we will let them guys sort that match up, and I will hang out with all of you. How are you beautiful people doing today? Nice to see you, Jixie. See you in chat as well. Oh, what did you guys make of that? Do you think V-Claw has what it takes to bring it back here? That was very impressive, though. He did some pretty awesome work at the beginning. Unfortunately, the Salamander hunting pack getting shut down really kind of cost him, as he needed that to help bring down the Spider. But the Spider just survived so long. 2v1'd by the Ancient Stegodon and the mighty Zlak. Harmonic Convergence popped as well, but with some sneaky stab-ins and some nice debuffs from the Greenskins, they just about managed to carry it through. Kira says forever Wu-Tang. Man, I'm actually a big Wu-Tang fan. Love me some Wu-Tang. Remember that if you lose, you got to change your name to A-Move Crane. What's up, A-Move, man? Hope you're doing good, dude. We are, in fact, going to be doing a big stream on Wednesday as well, guys. Which I may need some of your help for, actually. I'm not quite sure on the format yet. I may be getting a load of content creators to go up against A-Move. So we're doing a big charity event. Which I'll delve into more at the time. A-Move can feel free to kind of discuss it in chat with you guys and explain what's going to be going on. But yeah, we're going to do a big charity stream Wednesday, which should be some good fun. These minus 50 APM nerf next patch. I tried telling CA, man, but they didn't want to hear nothing about it. Soothsayer is just something else. Man, he's easily, like, probably top 2, him and Falcon, I think. And Sooth's been around for a long time as well, you know, he's got that kind of longevity. Obviously, so is Falcon, but Falcon is a little bit newer than Talaxlan. And watching, like, him go out an opponent is just pretty damn insane. So anyway, it looks like V-Claw is going Dark Elves, banning Norska and the Wood Elves, which is pretty interesting. I think Dark Elves don't suffer too much against Norska. It depends on your style of play. They have so much AP to get through the big monsters and got decent chaff clearers as well. But of course, Norska are one of the best swarming factions in the game. And banning Wood Elves, probably a good shout. Wood Elves just do what the Dark Elves do skirmish-wise, but better. So you're probably going to get skirmished off the board, which isn't too good. We'll have to see who Soothsayer goes. I think he's a fan of Empire as well. Tyrannus doing ECL on Wednesday. Why? Why? We'll have to check times. I might be able to stream before, as I do have Wednesday off work. I do have terrible luck with ECL. Yeah, this was actually, this event was meant to be Friday, but the ECL kicked off. And basically all the players playing mine also wanted to play in there, so we ended up moving it. Which is why I'm a little time conscious, because I do have work early tomorrow morning, but we should be fine. But I'll sort something out. I'll see when the ECL starts, and we'll just probably stream before it. So it looks like Soothsayer is going to be going with the Vampire Coast, one of the most hated factions for me to face. They're just so tricky and gnarly to try to break down. It really can be a big pain. Ronan, I will host the lobby, man. You can sort out matchups if you want with the pick and ban system, Ronan, but it's just easier for me because I can just do it in the host mode. So I can just, confirm when to start battle and all that type of stuff. And I don't have to get up a screen blocker to dodge your armies and all that stuff. So that's probably the easiest, to be honest. Let's check my Discord, make sure we're all good. Dun 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 dun. Cool. Looks like we are all good in the herd. Check the tournament brackets. And yes, looks like everyone has updated their scores, which is absolutely perfect. But yeah, such a cool turnout of elite players, new players, and players of all kind of mixed abilities, which I always love to see in a tournament. You can get some real underdog stories as well. Big old stretch. I might grab myself a drink after this game as well while we load in. Cool, cool. Soothsayer saying he is going to be playing the Coast, which are notoriously very good at gunning down opponents. So if V-Claw is going to be trying to play that skirmish game, it's pretty hard to do. The Undead have so much long-range firepower, they can really punish you quite badly. But at the same time, lots of cheap and cheerful crossbows could, could come strong here, come a little bit clutch. Sooth playing VC, ban him. Ban him now. Why the hate for my vampire boys? I hate facing them, Raptor, I'm sorry. It's kind of like playing Dowie. I don't mind the Dowie if I am playing them, but playing against them is so much worse because you know you're going to have to break down a really tough formation, and it is a nightmare, especially when you get some top level defensive play. It is so hard to break into the back line consistently and really shut down those guns, and getting shot off the board's not fun for anyone. But at the same time, you can go big Crab Rush. They got so many cool thematic units as well. Of course, Undead Pirates, I mean, what's not to love? They can certainly bring it. We'll have to have a little look at the builds. No more Undead hate. Poison Ducky, stop the hate. The Vampire Count's main himself. I believe you did take a game off Soothsayer actually early with your beloved Counts, which is always good to hear. For those who don't know, I'm sure you do by now if you've been watching my channel for any kind of length of time, but Poison Ducky is a fellow YouTuber, absolutely top guy as well, so I highly recommend checking out his channel. And I think we've got a few YouTubers actually knocking around in the chat who you should check out. We've got Prussian Prince, V-Claw himself as well. Yeah, loads of guys. Counts are fine, Tomb Kings are okay, Ghosts are broken. It's the never-ending saying of Stormrunner. As these guys do sort themselves out. At top back. There we go. I'm going to pour myself some nice Coca-Cola. Keep me nice and energized. Yeah. Okay, Arista, I feel like that's a shot at me. I do that every time. I call Mongols every single time I stream. There's a few things I do. A few little sayings as well, but I never break. Cheap and cheerful is something you're going to hear quite a lot over the course of the tournament. And so, yeah, being cheap and cheerful is always nice. People love to hate something, it gives them purpose. That is true. And usually whatever's on top, regardless of if it's good or bad, I mean, Vampire Coast are probably considered to be one of the top factions in the game, if not the top one. But anything that goes up high or gets a big fan base behind it always gets hated on. You see it in the music industry, like anytime anyone gets famous, they have loads of fans, but the people who are making noise are always people kind of hating them. It happens with movies. Movie franchises, books, everything. It's kind of quite sad, to be honest. If I don't like something, I just don't, buy it or watch it or whatever. But people love to make a fuss. So I do agree with that. A very competitive video, it is indeed. I actually am kind of excited for hobgoblins if they do become a thing in Total War Warhammer Frizz. I believe they are led by a Khan, so it will actually get a greenskin Mongol themed army, which would be so cool. We can already kind of make one with Wolf Riders, and I suppose, all the kind of more of a Mad Max vibe than a Mongols vibe. Remember to like the stream, everyone. Indeed, it gives me strength, and every time you like the stream, a puppy is born into the world, and the world is a better place. What's up, the boy Red Legion? Hope it's going good, man. Red Legion, I believe, did play in this tournament earlier as well. So don't worry, man, you're not too late. This is the first of the semi-finals. Soothsayer is up 1-0 against V-Claw in a very close first game, though. V-Claw certainly managed to punch back quite hard multiple times up against the hordes of greenskins, but unfortunately got a little bit overrun and lost the big key monster engagements. He also calls Manticores different, but I won't say it here. I can imagine what Manticore goes into. It looks like we are ready to rumble. Let's get this battle underway. Man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this the whole Death Before Dishonor has been pretty crazy so far. We will have one more qualifier, and I've made the decision to make qualifier 4 also open to everyone. I know before I said number 2 and number 4 were just going to be to 4 players to just play in the evening. But there's so much demand at the moment to play in tournaments. I think I'm just going to try and have as many people involved as possible. It gives more people a chance overall. So that will probably be next week now. And then we will have the grand finals. So we already have 2 people qualified through. Oh, looks like we are loading in here. I'm trying to think who they are now off the top of my head. Oh, Enticity and Noob for Life. And King of Dead as well does have a chance, hopefully, to get back in the next qualifier to try and hold on to his crown. By the way, for the forces of Soothsayer, who is ahead in this game, looks like we do have Luther Harkin up in the skies here. We're going to bring in all the standard competitive stuff, no doubt. Hornswaggle is just so goddamn powerful. Of course, he has Death Shriek. It looks like that is going to be it. Here's a Vampire Fleet, Captain of Vampires, down on the ground. Raised Dead, Invocation, all that good stuff. Power Stone, and is that another... This is disgusting. Taunt and Hornswaggle, such a nice combo, really allows Luther to punch way above his weight here. For the front line, it looks like we have Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, which, cheap, cheerful chaff there to soak up the damage and the initial charge, and allow this secondary line of bombers to really get some great value. Looks like we have some gunnery mobs mixed in as well. I love the fact when bombers first came out, no one used them, and I believe it was King of the Dead who made them popular. Now I see them kind of more often than not. We do have some Mongols. Looks like we have 3 units stacked on top of each other here. It's going to be a very deadly kind of pack roaming around. Very lightly armoured, but of course they do have Stalk, which normally allows them to close down on the enemy. Very risky pick coming up against the Dark Elves, though. If they get skirmished into oblivion by Dark Riders, it could be a really bad day for them overall. We do have Fellbats up in the skies. Looks like they are chevroned up as well. A huge pack of Scurvy Dogs, 3 units to be precise, on the right-hand side. And I'll be surprised how much these guys can punch. And Undead Dogs are so frustrating to play against. We do have Sirens as well in the front, giving a little bit of undead. And it looks like that's going to be it for the most part. Scurvy Dogs are one of the banes of my existence. They come against Faust in the ECL. And my god, they broke into my back line time and time again. They can be very powerful. Now, for V-Claw, we do have a War Hydra hidden in the trees here over on the right-hand flank, looking very menacing, alongside a K-Knight Assassin. In the front line, we have cheap, cheerful Bleak Swords dotted all the way along. They're just going to be able to trade relatively effectively up against the chaff, but bombers will do a lot of damage to them. Double Dread Spears in the secondary line, and triple Reaper Bolt Throws, going very hot and hard here with the artillery. Up in the skies, we have a Supreme Sorceress of Fire. I thought this was going to be Marathi. Fantastic to see a different option apart from Malekith and Marathi taken. Burning Head and Fireball. She's going to be relatively cheap here, up on top of her Flying Pegasus, but at the same time, can be able to do a decent amount of work. That Burning Head could be really key to clearing out the chaff quickly and allowing the Bleak Swords to hop on top of the bombers. In reserve, we do have some Dark Riders with shields as well for some nice shock charge, and it looks like that is going to be the build. Yarr! From Soothsayer, getting into character there of the pirates. YouTube won't even allow us to tell you. No, what's happened? I'm not sure what's happened. Let me know. But anyway, in comes some shots, and they're going to be lancing into the zombie pirate deckhand mobs, who aren't going to be liking that too much. But of course, auto fire was on. Does skewer 4 of those guys though, so first blood to the Dark Elves, I suppose. Fellbat's going to be relatively key here and shutting down the back line. There's nothing protecting these guys immediately. Of course, there are the Dark Riders hidden in the trees, but Soothsayer doesn't know they're there yet. But I'm sure he suspects something. And it looks like the bolt throwers are going to be switching target and actually clobbering one of the Fellbats. But they have switched now to Burst Fire and going to be starting to work down at the Gunners and Bombers, which is the best bet here. The deckhand mobs aren't actually a threat if they're not, used in conjunction with the Bombers and so forth. So I highly recommend shooting those guys down and breaking through them. Looks like the Sirens are being kept in reserve for now, and so are the Morngulls, at least the ones on the left-hand flank. We've got to have some darting out the trees on the right-hand side. War Hydra is pushing up as well, and there's not too much to surround this guy. He doesn't want to overextend too much. It looks like we actually have 2 War Hydras. I didn't notice this. And a really nice flame attack coming down on the zombie pirate gunnery mobs. These Mongols getting a little bit close for comfort here, but it looks like the Hydra is going to be falling back. Of course, Luther Harkin is nearby for support, as well as some scurvy dogs. Fellbats have discovered the ambush in the trees, and these Dark Riders now have lost the element of surprise. War Hydra on this flank moving up as well, probably going to be getting a big breath attack down onto the zombie pirate gunnery mobs, doing some okay damage overall. Yeah, bringing these guys down to about half health with some consistent fire as well from these bolt throwers. Really trying to pin down the enemy. Now the Sirens are going to be a big problem unless they get hit, of course, by a burning head or something. Scurvy Dogs roaming down the flank, and to be honest, they could collapse on top of the Dark Riders. 3 units very easily could push these guys down. It looks like all the Dark Riders are having to be revealed here. The War Hydras falling back as well behind the front line. Not a bad idea at all. Yes, they could tank a lot of this damage and kind of mess up the charge. Perhaps even push backwards onto the bombers. But if they're surrounded by Mongols, they will get dragged down. Bleak Swords do get a counter charge in here, but they're going to get absolutely decimated. Burning Head does come down, but it looks like slightly out of position. It needs to go down a little bit closer to his own lines. But it may catch this bombers as well. Oh, it's so unfortunate. It looks like it may catch a tiny amount of them. They're not doing a huge amount, unfortunately. Bleak Sword's taking a little bit of a hammering, but we do have the Hydras as well, and a huge backline engagement here as Dark Riders have been hornswaggled, surrounded by Scurvy Dogs and Luther. It looks like the mobility of the Dark Elves is starting to crumble. Scurvy Dogs could hop on top of these Reaper Bolt Throwers, but they're just trying to push through to the backline for now, really hammering in these Dark Riders who are struggling quite deeply here. A nice summon as well, pushing into the back lines. Sirens and Mongols collapsing on this flank. Bombers are starting to do the Lord's work here, destroying Bleak Swords. It's not gone very well for them at all, allowing the much cheaper zombie pirate deckhand mobs to force their way through the front line and do some decent work. One bolt thrower is still active. It looks like it is firing into zombie pirate gunnery mobs, although these guys were summoned, so not the best pick there. One Bleak Swords did manage to win their engagement. Now there is still the double Hydra, which of course is going to be a big threat, even though we do have the summons of the gunnery mobs, which are going to be a huge problem. The back line is an absolute shambles for both players here. The whole thing is a huge mess. Scurvy Dogs, some of them are going down. Looks like K-Knight Assassin is fleeing from the trees. They did manage to push off the Dark Riders and limit the mobility of the Dark Elves, which is going to be really useful coming into this late game. Luther Harkin slowly going after the Supreme Sorceress, and there's not too much she can do here. She has to juke and dive her way out, which she's taking pistol shots up to the rear the entire time, which is really not what she loves. More summons coming in, which can be so effective at helping drag down the Hydras, but of course these guys do have regeneration, so the longer the game goes on, the more value they can get. And the Bombers slowly being shut down here. Really nice fight back by V-Claw so far. Balance of power is slightly in favour of the coast, but of course they do have summons. Another lovely burning head coming in, starting to shrek this gunnery mob right here. Huge damage, but of course they are just a summon, so it's a toss-up to do it or not. But again, they were a big threat, so it's not the worst thing in the world. War Hydra has now been recharged by Luther Harkin. Probably wants to turn and face that as much as possible. I would stack up both the Hydras relatively close together to really kind of stop Luther Harkin popping in here and assassinating troops. As you can see, all the missile fire coming in, plus Luther, who is one of the best duelists, is destroying this Hydra. Unfortunately, it looks like it did get his healing proc, but it's going to be running for the hills, and there's so many fast mobile units left for the coast. These Fellbats, for example, they could simply chase off the War Hydra, and they definitely need to. I feel like the game is slowly slipping out of the grasp of the Dark Elves here. Some Bleak Swords, though, doing decent work overall and clearing up the chaff, but there are bombers still available, and Luther Harkin is going to be an absolute nightmare. Looks like Supreme Sorceress thinking of diving in here as well, but a Taunt and a Hornswaggle on this War Hydra. Nuking its stats, 0 armor, 12 speed, 0 melee defense. He is getting destroyed here. A big fat invocation of heck as well, I believe, went down on the Mongols, keeping those guys alive. And without the War Hydras, there's just no punch left on this Dark Elf build. They unfortunately got swarmed in the back lines. Knight Assassin didn't end up doing too much, and the front line eventually stalled. Looks like we do have another Burning Head coming down, trying to get on top of these Sirens. It looks like they might just be able to juke it. Yeah, looks like they're just nice micro there, and constant diligent play by coming in by the Soothsayer, managing to dodge that Burning Head for the most point. And the last of the Bleak Swords are simply going to get nuked down. Now, the Supreme Sorcerer is trying to hold things together. Looks like one War Hydra has managed to rally in the back lines here. And yeah, it's tearing apart some Scurvy Dogs and so forth, trying to go toe-to-toe with Luther Harkin. Supreme Sorceress probably has to throw everything to the wind here and just hop in any debuff she can bring, any damage, and hop on top of Luther and really try and help this Hydra out. As without the Hydra, there is certainly no hope. And even with the Hydra, it's looking a little bit bleak. Looks like the one on the right-hand side has been completely shattered here. Fellbats simply chasing down Bleak Swords, which, you know, isn't the worst idea. Trying to push that balance power further and further away. Looks like the Hydra, though, managing to stabilise a little bit here. Of course, is going to be healing and clearing up these chaffy units. Knight Assassin, unfortunately, being completely surrounded here. Did go after Luther, trying to fulfill his oath here as an assassin. Is now being clobbered by these big, horrible monsters. Their lower jaws are just so disgusting. Nice fireball does come in on top of Luther Harkin. Did some okay damage here as well. But more summoned gunnery mobs just going to be lacing shot after shot into this War Hydra, slowly pulling him down. We have Sirens surrounding the Knight Assassin, who has been taunted, so he can't escape, and he's being cleared up quite nicely here. Supreme Sorceress floating above the high ground here, trying to think of a good place to land. But it looks like army losses very soon to kick in. The Hydra has routed, and unfortunately so has the Supreme Sorceress. Great effort overall, though, by V-Claw coming in there and putting on a good show regardless. But it is going to be 2-0 here. Big fan of Soothsayer's build overall. Not too much of a front line, but enough to hold back the enemy while the bombers seriously do the work. I sometimes see people bring like 4 or 5 bombers, which can work, but at the same time it's a lot to defend. You didn't have too much to defend and use the summons instead to really pack that firepower. Quad Scurvy Dogs is very scary as well. Managed to hop on and was basically a perfect counter, unfortunately, for the bolt throws, and was also allowed to shut down those Dark Riders, who unfortunately got caught in the back lines, a little bit naked and away from their friends. But it's quite understandable. You don't expect to be jumped by that many Scurvy Dogs. You expect them to be going in for the bolt throws, and then you counter charge with the Dark Riders. But unfortunately, the trap fell into a trap there. But very well played overall. Looks like the guys have hopped out. So Ronin and Faust, if you guys would like to drop in. Or jump in, sorry, there's Ronin. And I don't know if I have Faust as a friend. I should do, but... password is 123. If you can't find it, man, let me know. So let's update the scoreboard. So it is 2-0 to Sooth. I'll wait for the players to hop in before we find out what's going on with the scoreboard. GG's. Raptor supporting Ronin here, it looks like. Let's do it! Yes, Faust. Looks like he's pumped up. I haven't played Faust too much. I've played him like 3 or 4 times, but he seems like a really nice, like a stupidly nice guy. Even when like he was slaughtering me down to the last man, I couldn't hate the guy, which you know, must be saying something. How can I meme against Sooth? I mean, I played Sooth once, and it was actually yesterday on Turin's channel, and I went all cav. I'm going to stop doing that though. I'm going to start. I feel a bit bad afterwards, to be honest, actually. Cause I think I've done that. The Rohan meme one too many times on Turin streams. It's getting a bit old, so next time I'm going to take it a bit serious. But it was still good fun. Mostly Lotus just saying, why are you dying? May the force be with you, indeed. Looks like the boy Faust is here. Let's rock and roll, hey! So it looks like we have Faust up, so let's sort out the scoreboard. So well played to both Viclor and Soof there. Let's change that to Fausty. Faust and Ronin. Ronin, an OG on the channel. Been playing in my tournaments for a very long time now. A huge supporter, and is always fantastic to have as well. He's improved so much since we started. Oh, I'm invisible. Hang on a sec. Just going to check my Steam. I may be in incognito mode. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm in offline mode. I hate it when it does that. Okay. And let's invite the boy Ronin. Ronin got creamed is one of the names on my list here. Bam. Oh. Just streaming, bro. So I just got a message from someone wanting to play, but I need to let them know I am streaming. And Ronin is here, my boy. Hey, bud. Let us switch up the maps. So from this one point onward, I haven't actually planned the maps, but we're just going to be rolling off the competitive map picks, basically. So we are going to start, I believe. Let's go Shorsterhaven. Nice big flat map. I can never spell this horrible name. Schwarzhafen. There we go. Here's the map. And we will see. Who is your money on? You can't meme Soof. Yeah, it's impossible, man. He can meme you, but you can't meme him. I take it you're a man of culture. It looks like Hunt Showdown. I actually haven't heard of that, so unfortunately I'm a simpleton. Oh, it looks like it's some game. I'll have to look into it. No worries, bud. So I'm just getting a message. Yeah, always feel free to message me, boy, for games and stuff. I am often busy when it says I'm online. But never feel bad for, like, messaging me and stuff, saying, asking for games. Cool, cool. Ronin to pick and ban first. No, Aristo, you can't sleep. I ban it. I forbid it. You must stay. Sleep is for the weak. For the weak, I tell you. But good night, man. Good night. If Ronin loses, I get to laugh at him at least. That is true, man. It's great to see you enter as well, Amy. I didn't think you were playing tournaments at the moment. You had a real tough, like, straight-up matchup, didn't you, against Hadri's or someone, which... Hadri's is one of those players I cannot beat. I've managed to beat a few of the top guys before, like, take, like, 1 or 2 games off them, even if I lose, you know, consistently, like, the round and so forth. But Hadri's and Grombrindle, I cannot beat. There's something about them, they're just so consistently solid. So Ronin is going at Norskins, banning Empire and Wood Elves. Ronin, of course, is a bit of a Norskin main, or is very good with them at least. Also has some really nice play with the Wood Elves himself. Wicked D. I hope you don't accidentally ingest 800 milligrams of caffeine right now. It would be a shame if you had to play Warhammer all night. That's true. That would be a horrible shame if that did happen. I can picture Wicked now sneaking into Aristo's like bedroom and sneaking that inside. And Faust is bringing the bone home. Going for the Tomb Kings. Going to be an interesting matchup here. Nice little drink there. I'm going to see if... I mean, Nortons definitely have the tools here. They're good at hunting down the big constructs with javelins and so forth. And also have the troops to clear chaff. Oh, Tomb King Kite, don't worry. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Go for a bit of a Tomb King Kite. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying. Great to see so many people watching. If you are, do feel free to hit that big old thumbs up button. Oh, sorry, I've got like an ambulance going about outside my window. I'm right alongside a high street, unfortunately. Luckily, the windows are pretty solid, so hopefully you guys don't get too much like back chatter. But yeah, feel free to like the video. It really helps out the stream. It helps it get seen by more people and help grow. And if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. We've reached over 500 subs, which is pretty damn crazy, to be honest. And yeah, we're still continuing to grow. And it's just been great fun, honestly. It's such an easy community to get on with. It's been easy to organise tournaments. And, of course, when you first start out, don't get quite so many players. But as long as, put on a good showing and so forth, and everyone, has a good time, they just grow and grow. Which is, I want this game to have kind of longevity, which I'm sure it will going into Total Warhammer 3. And whenever they plan past that, I'm hopeful for 40k. Total War, but I know there's a lot of problems with it. People keep coming up with problems and stuff, but I trust CA to do a decent job. They've been very good so far. So no new High Elves yet, I don't think. We haven't seen any High Elf action. So I'd like to see them and some of the Green Boys. See some new plans and schemes. It's always interesting to see how the meta does fall after an event like a DLC, because not only does it change how those factions work, the ones mainly affected by the new content, new units and so forth, but it kind of changes the way everyone plays against them as well, so you see a lot more wild builds. When is the next campaign stream? We totally don't try to get your army killed. Oh god. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. So I've started an Imrit campaign as well. I'll be streaming that this week, probably on Thursday. It'll be Thursday or Friday. We're doing a charity stream Wednesday. I'm going to have to set out times and so forth to make sure I don't kind of clash with the ECL and stuff, so people can still tune in. Maybe do it as like a bit of a warm-up for the ECL. Could be a good way of doing it. And then whatever day after that I'll do it at some point. But yeah, that campaign, people in chat convinced me to go after one of the dragons really early on, and it was a disgustingly close fight. Wonder who'll win the tournament. It's going to be tough, honestly. Like, Soothsayer obviously is in the finals, but Ronin and Faust can certainly go toe-to-toe with the best of them. Looks like these boys are good to go. Are you ready to hunt? Ready? Are you ready for the ultimate showdown of our ultimate destiny? So pretty up for these boys. I will never make fun of Ronin again if he wins. That's a strong accusation, move. That is a vow. I'm not sure if you could live with yourself, man, if you could never insult Ronin again. Now, V-Clawman, you did fantastic up against Sooth. That first game was very, very close. The second game was a bit unlucky with your build against his build. The Scurvy Dog, there was just too much to swarm your backline, basically, and shut down the bolt throw, so they couldn't get the greatest of value. But yeah, it happens from time to time. It could have happened the other way around, of course. I would have picked Pass Down on me. Exactly. So there is a little bit of rock, paper, scissors, which does come in with Warhammer, of course. That sometimes you can just get counterpicked and so forth. But still, really good show, man. And you had a very good run as well, taking out some real top-notch players. I believe you played Suave in the quarterfinals, and Suave is a notoriously tough opponent to break down. Anyway, let's hop in with this battle. So, for the forces of Fausta, it looks like we do have Arkan the Black on foot, so not on top of his Bone Horse, which is where you normally see him. Going to be coming in, of course, with the Tomb Blade of Arkan, Staff of Nagash, Liber Mortis, Doom and Darkness, minus 16 Leadership Bomb, quite nice to see that in action, and a Spirit Leech. Looks like we also have a Necrotect as well, and we've got a load of Skeleton Warriors into the sunset. Looks like Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen dotted all the way along, with one unit of Tomb God with Halberds as well, for a little bit more of an elite stay-in power in the centre pocket. We do have Skeleton Chariots, some Carrion Up in the Skies, and the Eyes of the Desert. Now, the Sneaky Snakes are such a powerful unit. I think they actually got a tiny bit of a buff in the latest DLC as well. The way their armour shimmers that gold is just so goddamn beautiful. These guys, of course, come with poison, armor piercing, they have magic damage from long-range attacks, and have a decent bonus versus large, anti-large experts all round. Can be a real pain to deal with, can be fantastic at taking down mammoths and so forth. Now, I quite like to play Courtier Souls, hiding behind a building here. Can be dropping those fat beats on top of the Norscan infantry. Really good tool for dealing with Norscan infantry, as well as like greenskins and so forth. We do have the Sphinx of Yusef? However you say that name, the renowned Necro Sphinx, a really dangerous combatant who I absolutely hate, because a lot of people used to counterpick me with Tomb Kings early on in my my kind of first venture into Total War Warhammer, shall we say, with Lizmen, and I loved Salamanders to take down big constructs, and this annoying dude has 25% fire resistance, so he's a right pain in the butt. He's going to be getting healed up the entire time as well by a Necrotex. But overall, really solid build, going to be defensive and try to allow the Caster Skulls to get the most value where possible. Skirmish with the Skeleton Chariots, and if the opponent does hop into the back line, Eyes of the Desert are here to capitalise. Now, for the forces here of the Mighty Ronin, a front line of Marauders, cheap and cheerful, can do some serious damage to those Skeleton Warriors. He also has Marauder Berserkers in a secondary line, and these guys will annihilate most of that Tomb King infantry. All these Ragnar Lothbrok looking geezers are going to be pretty damn cool. I love all the tattoos. They're just a hardcore Viking aesthetic. Looks like we do have some Norscan Ice Trolls as well. 2 of these guys. I'm sure Poison Duck would be very happy. He does love a good old Troll Rush. And, you know, they do decent damage overall. They also come in with the Glorious Frostbite. Going to be trying to show the world that they're not forgotten amongst all the Stone and River Trolls. We do have double Marauder Hunter Javelins as well. Fantastic at taking down large threats. And just a little bit more utility than the Thronax version, in my opinion. We do have a Fimir Balefiend of Fire as well, coming with Burning Head and Fireball. And Wolfric the Wanderer on top of his Mighty Mammoth, chilling like an absolute bouse here on top of this. I don't think his Mammoth has a name, unfortunately. I think it is just a basic War Mammoth. But yeah, he looks like he's quite comfortable there, up on top of his Mighty Throne. And we do have a Feral Manticore up in the skies. Going to be some good fun. Interesting to see how this one goes. Now, the Berserkers are going to take a bit of a hammering early on from the Casket of Souls. But if they get him here, they will tear apart the Spearmen and so forth. But, I don't know, the Sphinx plus the Sneaky Snakes are going to be really hard for Wolfric to deal with. If he gets some nice burning heads and manage to tear apart the infantry very quickly, perhaps he can swarm the large entities with all his Marauders. Good luck, have fun. Fantastic to see some good sportsmanship. Rubber Duck of War doesn't even speak Nekakarian. I'm unfortunately a bit of a slouch when it comes to many of the undead factions. I'm more of a lizard man guy. I can teach you Sorin and Nekakaran, but it will cost you lizard trinkets. I will try my best to establish myself some lizard trinkets. But in comes the shots, and as expected, going after the Marauder Berserkers, doing some pretty good damage straight off the bat here. As it looks like the Skeleton Warriors are going to be pushing forward as well, maintaining a relatively defensive posture, using this little shot blocking house for protection, which is some really nice play overall. Caster Souls, after one volley, already up to 11 kills. Now, has he switched targets? Looks like we have the first Spirit Leech as well going down on that fine Manticore, of course. Norscans don't have any healing. So he once again pounded those Marauder Berserkers. I would hop between the 2 Berserkers just to ensure Ronin can't dodge them at all. It's quite hard shots to dodge regardless. But yeah, just, you know, keep him on his toes as much as possible. Feral Manticore is going to be falling back here after taking that nasty Spirit Leech. Not too much damage done though, but it's going to keep it away for the meantime at least. Luckily for these trolls, there are no Ushopti to bring them down, but these pesky Eyes of the Deserts are going to be a real pain. In come the Skeleton Chariots as well for some early skirmish. The Marauders just turn and start absolutely legging it here, trying to fall back to the friendly Norscan Ice Trolls, which is going to make the Skeleton Chariots fall back. Javelins are thrown in to the Karen, who could probably dive down here and do some decent work, as more shots now do collapse down onto those Marauder Berserkers, doing some huge damage straight out the gate. And it's going to be really tough to break down this formation. We're going to have to see if the Ice Trolls and Wolfric pack enough of a punch. We have triple Ice Trolls, in fact. I thought it was just the 2. We'll see the Eyes of the Desert are being a little bit sneaky here, just waiting, and now they unleash the trap. Look how much health these guys lose in just a few shots. However, they're not the most tankiest of fellows themselves. They can be crumped down by trolls if, of course, they do get surrounded. A nice boat coming down in the back line, tearing apart some Skeleton Spearmen with some deadly efficiency. And the front line has begun. Marauders are certainly going to get the upper hand on the Skeleton Spearmen. Skeleton Chariots, though, doing some decent cycle charging into the front line. And you can see how beat up these Berserkers are. And a big clump of Warriors do get pummeled here. It looks like quite a decent amount of friendly fire onto the Skeleton Warriors. Sneaky Snakes constantly trying to do that damage, but they're going to have to fall back and try to deal with this second unit of trolls. They don't want to kind of overcommit into the one. Berserkers are starting to force their way up here as the Feral Manticore can now swoop in. It's really tough to see what to go after, but it looks like he does just pop into the front line. Looks like he's really trying to blaze through as much as possible before surrounding the enemy. Some healthy Marauder Berserkers and basic Marauders going to be looping around this flank, and they'll easily crump these Skeleton Spearmen on this side. Ice Trolls do need to get engaged though. It looks like we are going to have a absolutely fantastic burner head coming down here. Really eating up that shaft. Those skeleton spearmen felt the pain there and got absolutely punished. Real tit-for-tat game here. Huge damage done on both sides. Balance power slightly favouring the Tomb Kings here. Looks like in the centre pocket, Necrotech is going toe-to-toe with the Thrower Manticore, but has managed to drive it off. And Wolfric going far too balls deep here, trying to push into the back line on top of Arkan, but the Sphinx is simply going to be able to chase him down. And this is going to be the problem. How healthy are the Hunters? Looks like they're both actually doing pretty good. They need to throw all of their javelins into this guy to bring him down. And once that happens, Wolfric will certainly have the reign of the battlefield. In come the Norscan Ice Trolls, attempting to pin him in, but it looks like he is going to be able to sneakily escape here. He does do fire damage though, which is going to be a big problem, of course, up against the regenerating Norscan Ice Trolls. Looks like one unit is also terrified here and falling back. And these poor javelins have so many targets. They need to get rid of the snakes and the Sphinx, which is going to be pretty damn tough. That poor Necrotech has overextended. Hunter of Champions has been activated, and Wolfric is coming in for a clobbering time. Absolutely slamming this Necrotech to the ground and trampling all over him. He has got a little overzealous though once again, and the Sphinx is nearby as well as Arkan the Black, and he needs to pull back. He does not want to jaw this mighty Sphinx at this point. Looks like a Spirit Leech has gone down as well, but we do see a nice boat coming down through on the Tomb Guard, as well as a Burning Head trying to cut up the Skeleton Spearman shaft. It looks like they were actually managed to avoid that for the most part, as Norscan Ice Trolls do force their way back. Isa does it now incredibly beat up. Looks like the Castle of Souls has been surrounded here by a mixture of Marauders and Marauder Berserkers, but they are struggling to break through the elite Tomb Guard, and of course the Summons Shapti as well, only up to 7 kills, which isn't too bad. And it looks like some Ice Trolls have managed to catch and break those Skeleton Chariots. A nice counter to the Chariots actually, coming with that Frostbite, allowing them to catch them and really punish these Skeleton Chariots, who probably aren't going to be able to escape here. Looks like they are going to be crumbling into dust. Very close game so far, but I think the advantage is in the favour of the Tomb Kings, simply because of how healthy this Sphinx is. But there's still a decent amount of ammo on the Hunters. Oh no, these guys are getting pretty low. These guys have a few more shells, so they could throw all the ammunition in, but it's going to be a real tough display here to bring that beast down. It might be worth trying to clear up everything else, but it looks like the Tomb Kings managing to secure their back line and help protect the Casket of Souls here. Looks like the Snaky Snakes need to get activated again. But Marauders are slowly being dragged down by the Tomb Guard with halberds here. Thrower Manticore has returned, as well as some Norse controls who can push in and try and shut down the enemy. Fortunately, Hunters wasting their shots into the Tomb Guard, which is one of the targets they don't want to shoot. These guys, of course, are shielded. Yes, they're very elite, but simply take the Trolls to punish them and use the Hunters to bring down this big, nasty Sphinx here. Poor Familiar Delphine is getting pushed around a little bit, but managed to survive about half HP. Wolfric as well has fallen back here. Do have some more javelins coming in, trying to bring down the Sphinx, but it has over 5,200 health. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. In the back lines here, Marauder Berserkers up to 75 kills, slowly pushing through, and the Thrower Manticore, which did return here, absolutely hammering this Casket of Souls, minus 27 leadership. It could crumble to dust here, which could be a huge loss for the Tomb Kings, although it is up to 155 kills, so it certainly paid its weight in gold. Some more Marauders have raided on top of the hill. It's going to be probably a moment where both forces do rally. This Sphinx can probably turn and fight this. He does do magic damage, fire damage, of course, and the poor regeneration of these Ice Trolls is not going to help them out. Let's say, yeah, 45% fire weakness is pretty damn terrible. So, Marauders probably going to fall back here, try to rally. No, it looks like they are unfortunately going to rout. And the balance power still only just in favour of the Tomb Kings. Arkan the Black not too much of a problem even in Wolfric's wounded state, but this giant Sphinx is a nightmare. In comes a fireball. It looks like it is in fact going over Arkan, but what a dodge. Managing to pull him back just in time behind this little hovel here is going to protect him from that nasty shot. Both armies are just starting to recuperate a bit. It's always quite, you know, you've had a good battle when there's this like second phase where both armies regroup and get ready to go fisticuffs for one last time. It's always a glorious sight as they do rally and charge back in. So are some relatively healthy Norseman Ice Trolls, and of course the longer this battle does go on, the more these guys are going to be able to heal, and they can certainly lay an absolute clobbering down, but at the same time, I don't know if there is going to be enough of them. One Marauders trying to focus down the Necrotech here, quite interestingly. Marauder Berserkers have popped in as well. They can certainly cut these guys up. Ooh, nice boat going to be coming down on top of these Skeleton Spearmen, one of the last bastions of strength for the Tomb Kings. Those guys take a huge wrecking ball there. More Skeleton Warriors are alive. It looks like Norseman Ice Trolls trying to flank round to hammer into those guys. A Spirit Leech has gone down on Wolfric, and he takes some shots from the Sneaky Snakes. This is really bad stuff. He has broken and going to be falling back. Now, without his leadership nearby, these Trolls do not stand a chance. You can see this unit over here wavering before it's even got into combat, and these Snakes are simply going to be able to connect these guys up. Javelins are being thrown in. Wolfric down to just 416 health. He may rally. He's still got a decent amount of time before he does break off the battlefield completely, being such a far way away. Oh, a clutch summon of Skeleton Warriors has gone down here, though. But a nice burning head as well in retaliation coming in by Ronin. Really good play. Nevertech nearly finished off as well, but this burning head's also going to do damage to his own ice trolls as well as some of his marauders. So fantastic value overall, trying to keep himself in the game, but I think the Tomb Kings are just about going to scrape through here. But what a fantastic game and a great way to start off this second semi-final. Eyes of the Desert going down here, just 319 health, fighting to the death, and of course, you know, they crumble, so they're always going to fight to the death, but really holding the line for a long time, refusing to crumble, but it looks like they do manage to shatter those Northern Ice Trolls as they do crumble down into dust. Ice Trolls attempting to come in for a last little snipe here on the Sphinx, but it can easily go toe-to-toe with these guys. It looks like the last Spirit Leech has been used on the Familiar Belfiend, pushing him down. Army losses is getting incredibly close. Wolfric is returning to the field here. Very noble of him, trying to come back and rally his troops. And there's not much left. I mean, Skeleton Warriors are going down. Arkan, if he gets assassinated here, maybe 100 champions to help Belfiend finish him off. But the Sphinx is just so nasty and gnarly here. In he comes. Does he have 100 champions left? Belfiend going toe-to-toe, doing the best he can, surrounded by more than 100 javelins, who are no slouches in combat. Of course, Arkan Black is a lord though, and all lords are relatively decent melee combatants. Wolfric coming in, he's coming in for a stomping. Arkan is going down, 100 champions is active, and he gets absolutely thumped here, down onto his knees. He is very low, but so is Wolfric at just 165 health. Sphinx has been completely stranded on his right-hand flank and is struggling to escape. The frostbite from the trolls really coming in clutch. Looks like they are in fact trying to block the Sphinx as much as possible. And down goes Arkan. Is there a way back in this for the Norskans? If he completely surrounds the Sphinx with all of these units and constantly spams fireballs in, perhaps cycle charging now and again with Wolfric, maybe there's hope, maybe. Northern Ice Trolls are terrified away, but that actually suits Ronin relatively well as long as they can actually get away, as they will regenerate and come back into the fight. Wolfric is wavering ahead, 165 health is so pitiful, but up to 9 health now. I don't know, this is so close. The Necrosphinx is still relatively healthy, but it is completely surrounded. If they can break his leadership and crumble it, that could be so clutch. Northern Ice Trolls have rallied here, and they are slowly gaining health. And the Sphinx is starting to crumble. This would be insane if Ronin manages to win this. In comes Wolfric. This is so risky. He needs to fall back. If there's just one slap comes in, it is all over. If Wolfric goes down, there is no chance this force will hold. No chance at all. The critical binding, I just keep Wolfric away at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job at just keeping his troops alive. Necrosphinx down to 3,000 health. And the Marauders are fighting here. We have Javelins, Berserkers, Belfiend as well as no slouch in combat. The Sphinx is so tanky. In come the Northern Ice Trolls as well, going to be slowing this bad boy down, which will be also helpful and will allow Wolfric to be a bit more risky with his cycle charges as he can't retaliate too quickly. Big slap coming in though, flinging that Familiar Belfiend. If there's just one or two more fireballs, Wolfric is wavering on the edge of the battlefield here. For the love of Sigma, die, says Ronin, trying to bring this guy down, but it looks like the Norsemen are starting to break. No, Hunters are starting to run for the hills. It looks like some kind of spell was going down the Sphinx, but it looks like it may have been cancelled or the Familiar Belfiend was flung back. Sphinx down to 2,000 health, -5 leadership, 1 leadership, -2. Bouncing around, this is crazy. No, Wolfric does in fact break. He wasn't even near the enemy. It looks like he does run for the hills. This is a terrible outcome here for Ronin, as the rest of his forces do break, seeing their Liege Lord flee the battlefield. If they just stood and fought, they would have brought down the Sphinx. No, what a game! What a game! That's insane! I feel so bad. If his troops had just held, he would have had the victory. You cannot get closer than that. Fantastic game by both players. 150 on Wolfric, 139 on the Familiar Belfiend, and the Ice Trolls proving their weight here, managing to eventually go toe-to-toes with the Eyes of the Desert, crumple them down, and do decent work up against the Sphinx. Arkan getting sniped was really clutch as well, but one or two more fireballs perhaps to bring down the Sphinx. Or just Wolfric, not if he didn't break. I think the Norskans had it. I don't know what to say. I'm pretty speechless. I'm pretty speechless, guys. That was insane. That was insane. That was insane. A monster and a hero hunter that cannot cast his ability into enemy giant monsters. That is true. I'm not mad at all. Oh my god. Oh, that was, I don't know. Oh, that was just insane. Oh, that's one of the best games I've ever cast. That's up there with Palpatine's game up against V-Claw in the Clan War. That was some ridiculous stuff. So let's switch the maps up here. We are actually going to go to Altdorf Outskirts, I think. I was screaming at that damn Hunter of Champions. And if Wulfric had stayed, you would have won. Insane game. One of the best games I've cast. That was Jesus Christ. Army losses so dumb. I mean, army losses hadn't kicked in. It was just that Wulfric broke. He was so low health. He had 165 health. And the balance of power I don't think was like massively against him. But what a game. That was some insane stuff. Let's start the leaderboard here. Faust up 1-0. That was crazy. The Sphinx kept bugging its attack, doing nothing. I'm amazed it didn't crumble. He would have died. I just been. Oh no, I didn't mean in combat. If he just stayed around. If he just stayed around. My bad for not bringing fight or die. Yeah, if he had that, the plus 16 leadership, he would have won. But, you know, then, you know, butterfly effect, who knows, he would have lost money somewhere else. Maybe would have had to have downgraded one of the trolls into a different unit, and all sorts does happen. Faust is going vampirates, banning dwarfs and high elves. Boo! Not more vampire action. But guys, I'm going to chat with you for a second and try and calm down. That was ridiculous. Raptor, I got some maps for the finals if you want, Doug. I do not trust you, Raptor, at all. Where's A Move? He is here. Or he was here earlier. He might be playing some games now. He was in the tournament as well. Unfortunately, ran into Hadri's. It was a really tough opponent. I think they had a really close game. It went on for a long time, it seemed. And it was a 2-1 series. That was crazy. Oscar's worshipping Sigma, damn right. Yeah, the trolls would probably MVP there, honestly. Keeping the Norskins going. Nice regeneration. Great stabilization. Like, well played to Ronin to keep fighting back there. That looked lost. And the amount of times I've said that in a game, and you'll see a player kind of come out of nowhere and almost, you know, clutch victory from the jaws of defeat. Very well played. Very good indeed. What's up, David the White Lizard? Hope you're doing all good, bud. Nice to see you around. Looks like we've got some new people in chat as well I haven't seen before. What's up, Alex? I'm Barbara. Not sure who you are, Alex, but nice to meet you, man. Hope you're all good in the hood. And welcome to the channel. Is Lord Leadership buff up range 100 meters? I can't remember the exact distance on it, I'm afraid. Yeah, oh, it falls away the further you inside. Yeah, so Wulfric just needed to kind of hang around. I mean, he did in the end, I think, he was just so scared of that big Sphinx. Had nightmares of giant kitty cats chasing his beautiful mammoth. Ronan goes, greenskins, Faust says sweet, and Ronan says, is it? We will see. It's gonna be tough. I mean, Vampire Coast, of course, can bring a lot of big, terrifying monsters, which can break the leadership of the greenskins. But at the same time, greenskins are very good at swarming cheap and cheerful archers, and interesting to see as well how fanatics work here. It's going to be a good, fun matchup. I think it's probably relatively even now, with the new greenskin buffs and so forth. That was I'm still pretty speechless, guys. That was insane. I don't know what to say. That game was so good. These absolute champs. I want to see another game like that. I want this whole series to be good. Damn, Mr. Oh, Noob for Life, you just missed arguably the closest game I've ever cast. It was so good, man. was so good. But you've made it for the second semi-final here. So this, of course, is best of 3. Faust taking a early 1-0 lead up against Ronan. And the winner gets the punishment of going up against Soothsayer in the final. And these guys, all these guys here today, are fighting for a place in the grand finals, which will be alongside Noob for Life himself, as well as Enticity, who's burst onto the scene a couple of months ago and has become a real top contender in tournaments. Oh, Poison Ducky coming in with his, I feel like Poison Ducky, I've seen you play Greenskins quite a bit. I remember you did a Greenskin stream a little while back where you just played Greenskins on ladder, so hopefully you're enjoying the new DLC and stuff. But yeah, Savage Orc Arab Boys can actually beat Scurvy Dogs. That is super useful. Faust loves Scurvy Dogs. He uses them quite a bit. Hey, totally not Noob. Yeah, I agree, Raptor. Noob for Life's name is the most misleading name, I think, in the community. But yes, huge turnout today. It's been fantastic. It's been one of my favourite tournaments. We've had so many top players playing, some disgusting matchups, some underdog stories. It's been so good. Artillery scares me. Yeah, Mortars can probably do some pretty decent work as well here even. Taking down the Greenskin like cheap infantry and so forth. And cannons for Ragnarok Spiders and so forth. Could see a Troll Rush. Could be some good fun. Then again, guns, cheap halberds. It'd probably go very badly. But I'm sure Ronan knows what he's doing. Yeah, anyway, any of you guys wondering how to get involved in the channel in any way by playing on it or just, you know, hanging out and seeing when I release content and so forth, not only can you subscribe to the channel, but at the same time you can join my Discord. There's a link just down below in the description, and that's where I announce all my tournaments a little bit before I announce them kind of on all the other Discords. And yeah, you can hop in there, join in, and have good fun. We are going to be doing a stream on Wednesday at some point. I need to check times now. But we'll try and do the stream, a charity stream on Wednesday still. And then we will be streaming as well, one of Thursday or Friday. I'm going to take the other one off, whatever day it is, and just do nothing for a day. As I don't normally stream Mondays, because I work Sundays and I work really early Tuesdays. But I've managed to just about sneak this one in this week. These boys sorting out their builds. Going to check Discord, make sure we have no questions from anyone. Looks like Ronan couldn't see the lobby, but he's here now, which is all good. Cool. Looks like it was just the competitors having a little bit of a chit chat, which is fine. Emp would have been better. What, instead of going Greenskins into this? Yeah, Empire can do some decent work. They can trade tit for tat very well, artillery-wise and gun-wise. Cheaper Empire Knights as well can be relatively good, as well as, you know, they're more expensive ones. They can really punch through the enemy. Yeah, that's one thing. Poison Ducky's Stone Trolls. I think they're definitely the best out of the new Trolls, you know, between Stone and River. That missile resistance will really help. I mean, they may rout, but it depends if you can take down the mobile units. If you think you're going up against a static line and there's not going to be too many hounds to hunt down the trolls, it's not too big of an issue because they will rally, regenerate, and all that good stuff. Looks like Ronan is ready to rumble. For science! Interesting. Foul saying, let's try this out. Perhaps going to be coming in with a wild build. Think of goblins and then realise trolls have 10 less leadership. That is worrying, isn't it? Damn, Hunter of Champions. He's still salty about it. Not in a bad way, but I understand the frustration. Soothband coast when picking greenskins must be a reason for that. It depends on the players. Go with what you're comfortable with, honestly. If there's a matchup everyone tells you is horrible, but you like it, go for it. Just, you know, you might know something your opponent doesn't know. What's up, Coin Life? Hope you're doing all good, man. Saying, Regiment Round Deck Gunners do well here if they don't get magics. Yeah, I can certainly do some good work. Air Forces have always done quite good against the greenskins to snipe them out. What was the format for the charity stream? I'm not quite sure yet, Pacta. I'm either just going to get like a King of the Hill situation where people just take on a move over and over again, and he like shows off kind of, you know, crazy different builds and just see how many wins he can get. But I may try and get a load of content creators. So, you know, like V-Claw, Samurai Warrior, I'll contact like Darv and see if those guys want to get involved. But it's going to come down to time, unfortunately. on if I have to do it earlier now because of the ECL. I'm not sure like who's going to be available and stuff, so we're going to kind of sort it out. Luther can't stop the war anymore, but it is still quite harsh on the Greenskins. So Luther can do some fantastic work, yeah, exactly. He can roll them over. But anyway, guys, enough of me rambling. Let's have a little look at Faust here as he does try and seal his spot in this qualifier's final. We have some mortars, once again hiding behind the hovel. He loves a good hovel, this man. In the front line, we're going to have a mixture of deckhand mobs with the pole arms as well, dotted all the way along. So just one pole arms and the rest are the deckhand mobs. We have... God. Oh, God, we have a bloaty boy. Look at this glorious husk of a creature. Looking very haggard and just disgustingly horrible. Sword going straight for his eye there as well. I like his bling bling though, looking very fancy. So we do have a bloated corpse, which is glorious. We have to try and keep an eye on him. It's notoriously hard for casters to catch these guys. We do have a load of bombers as well, which is to be expected. It looks like maybe just the 2 units. Well, got another one hiding over here. So those guys can be the real damage dealers while these deckhand mobs soak up the damage. Classic tactics. We do have 3 Scurvy Dogs once more. I told you, these guys are so goddamn good and cost effective. We do have the Night Terrors, Regiment of Renowned Morngulls. These guys, of course, cause terror but can rampage, which is really frustrating. Looks like we do have the Shade Wraith Gunners, Regiment of Renowned Deck Gunners, who are, of course, ethereal, and Double Depth Guard hiding in the trees here to pounce on enemy which do come too close. Vampire Fleet Admiral with Polearm as well, of Death Magic Clone Spiritual Leech. Let's just double check all the names of these. I believe it is going to be Doom and Darkness, and Soul Blight, minus 30 armor and 30% base weapon damage. It's actually very, very powerful. Super cool build overall. It's going to be tough to break down, quite wide. Now, for the forces of the Greenskins, actually, Death Guard are really good in this matchup now I think about it. But for the forces of the Greenskins, we have Savage Orc Biggins in the front line going hardcore here in this front line. These guys are going to get to crump him. We do also have the Regiment Renowned Night Goblins in back lines, mixed in with some Black Orcs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 arch units. It looks like Savage Orc Araboys. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys perform, as Poison Ducky did say in the chat just down below. These guys, of course, can go toe-to-toe with Scurvy Dogs. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 of those guys. We do have the Hammer of Gork as well, Regiment Renowned Goblin Rock Clobber. Not the most accurate piece of equipment, can do some decent damage. We have 1 unit of Snotland Pump Wagons. Lovely to see these guys in action. They're just so insane. I remember back in the days I used to play Tabletop as a kid, seeing these guys in action, and the models are kind of amazing and horrible at the same time. We have Grom the Paunch. I think he's making his debut on today's stream at least. Very decent lord. I'm not too good of him because I always get chariots killed, but if you keep him moving, he has Lucky Banner, plus 40 melee attack and 40% damage resistance. Is very, very powerful. The Great Un is air, plus 16 leadership, 30% base weapon damage, and 24 melee attack is very powerful. And Language of the Boys can be given immune to psychology. That is actually really clutch here, coming up against a army which causes so much fear and terror. We do also have an Orc Shaman on a boar here. Something you don't see every day. I often see the Goblin far more than this fella, but it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. Coming in with a Scroll of Shielding, which is a very powerful ability. Allows you to give a 22% damage resistance to an ally. Brainbuster and Gaze of Morg. Really fun build overall. Looks like the Scurvy Dogs, or no, Night Terrors, sorry, have been deployed in deep there. We also have Scurvy Dogs in the trees. Is it just the 1 unit here? Or do we have some Scurvy Dogs with them? Looks like we have 2 Scurvy Dogs in with them as well. So there's going to be a big surround, which is really worrying for the Greenskins, actually. Savage Orc Araboys, we've spoken about, yes, can defend the back line relatively well up against the Hounds, but they, it will take them offline and so forth, and the Terrors are going to destroy this back line very quickly. Looks like the Orc Shaman just strolling forward here, having a little bit of a cheeky look, as the mortar is unfortunately going to have to wheel its way forward, away from this glorious hovel. Imagine being like 1 or 2 peasants still living in here. It'd be absolutely horrible. And see the Empire cowering behind their trees as always, or their fortress walls, sorry, as the Greenskins and the Counts do battle. Night Terrors getting ready to swarm. Scurvy Dogs here as well. Faust not been too trigger happy with those guys, not darting them out immediately. Some early damage has been done to the zombie pirate gunnery mobs, probably with an early brainbuster there. There's some okay damage. It looks like the mortar is starting to come in and fire. Looks like good luck, have fun, always good to see. And mortar going after the Black Orcs, perhaps? These things are relatively inaccurate, so it can be hard to see what they are targeting. Either the Savage Orc Biggins or the Black Orcs. Either way, they're both good targets. The Greenskins are going to start to march up now, which may mean they leave the Hammer of Gork unprotected, which would be an absolute nightmare for Ronin, even though he doesn't quite know it yet. In comes the Rock Lobber. It's doing some decent damage now to those zombie pirate gunnery mob bombers, and he really wants to get these guys offline as quickly as possible. Now, does this do magic damage by any chance? No, it doesn't. Damn it. Just not lobbing normal rocks. Hoping they were Gork and more confused ones, you could do some decent damage up against those Shade Wraith Gunners. Another nice Brainbuster coming in on top of the zombie Pyrogony mobs. It's going to be wavering a little bit as well, so they do go into critical binding and so forth, but they should be fine. Some decent damage off the bat though, 22 kills by this Orc Shaman. Now, Scurvy Dogs are starting to move down the wings here, looking for a home. It's going to be pretty tricky though. Savage Orc Arrowboys, as we've said multiple times, can beat them down, and Grom is still in the back here, and he can certainly go toe-to-toe with the best of them. Mortar's starting to do some okay damage up against the Arrowboys as well, realising that they're quite a big threat. At the same time, both the Bombers down to about half health here. Orc Shaman being a constant pest here, up to 23 kills. Hidden in the trees are the Depth Guard, but to be honest, they probably want to push up. Yeah, he knows he's going to have to take the fight to enemy, and unfortunately, his bloated corpse is going to have to stumble and crawl its way towards the enemy. Shade Wraith Gunners unleashing some shots into Savage Orc Biggins. Doing some pretty decent work, nothing too crazy. Savage Orc Arrowboys launching a few shots as well, and yeah. Oh, the big trap has been unleashed. There's going to be a counter charge here by Grom the Paunch and the Snotling Pump Wagons. You'll see Force is going to divide up his direwolves and pull them apart before looping back around and trying to hop on top of the Hammer of Gork crew. Really nice play. He's a pest with his Scurvy Dogs. I speak from experience. He's just impossible to shut down. I'm going to hop in on top of the Savage Orc Arrowboys, who will win this engagement, but at the same time going to take an absolute pounding. And the Scurvy Dogs simply going to get that charge bonus and bounce away. Huge damage coming in these Savage Orc boys. They need to get moving. Those Shade Wraith Gunners are certainly no joke. As Savage Orc Arrowboys do start to trade fire at the moment with the Bombers. And you can see the Hounds are just bumping between combat to combat, doing some really fantastic work. As long as they stay moving, they should be fine. Grom does come in though, and he starts crumping these Scurvy Dogs, rolling straight for their miss, leaving a pile of dead doggos in his wake. That was horrible, Grom. 21 kills off the bat straight away. Certainly no joke. Snotling Pump Wagon also doing a fantastic job of protecting this back line. Although the Hammer of Gork is now completely isolated, and in come the Night Terrors, they are still currently hidden. Black Hawk's going to come in here, and they managed to shut down the Bombers, so some early good engagements. Bloated Corpse is on his way, though. He wants to hop into his Black Hawks so bad. A Brainbuster does come down, doing some good work on the Pirate Deckhand mobs, allowing these Savage Orc Biggins to really go toe-to-toe with the enemy, although the Depth Guard are going to be able to clean them up nice and juicy-like. Do have Night Goblins pushing up here, though. They could certainly... I'm not sure if these are the ones with the Fanatics. They are, okay. For some reason the name drops out on these guys. So if they can get a little bit closer, nice play here by Faust moving up the Deckhand mob to stop them using their Fanatics on the Depth Guard. Some really good play. And in the back line, it looks like the Night Terrors did manage to break the Hammer of Gork for now, who is terrified, but should be able to come back. And now they're going to be taking a ton of fire from the Savage Orc Arrowboys, which is not where they want to be. They do turn to engage Grom, but the wire is popped, and he should be able to do some decent work overall. And with the support as well as some Savage Orc Biggins, yeah, these Night Terrors are going down very quickly. They've Rampage, which is a big drawback for them, unfortunately. Scurvy Dogs are trying their best, but they are just getting beat down, and the Greenskin's taking a very dominant position here. Bloated Corpse is moving in. He needs to wrap around and hop on top of these Black Hawks, although Assault Blight is active, allowing the Vampire Fleet Captain and his Depth Guard to chew through the Black Hawks. Look how little damage the Depth Guard have taken, up to 18 kills. And the Bloated Corpse is going to be able to hop back on top of the Savage Orc Arrowboys. And here we go, lads. Bam! Doing some huge damage there. Taking these guys down and going to be breaking them off the battlefield very quickly. Fortunately, the poor Night Terrors did get dragged down by a combination of Grom and the Savage Orc Biggins. Grom is still relatively healthy as well. Savage Orc Arrowboys are still active. Scurvy Dogs managed to hunt down one unit, even though the Orc Shaman is in quick pursuit. Some Fanatics do go down, doing some okay damage to their Depth Guard, it looks like. But Shade Wraith Gunners are still active, Mortar's still active, but I feel like the battle is going slightly in favour of the Greenskins here. However, Black Hawks have been pushed off, and there's still double Depth Guard and a very healthy Vampire Fleet Admiral to contest with. So effective cycle charging with Grom can work, and if he can clear off the remainder of the Scurvy Dogs and so forth, looks like another good Brainbuster is going to be coming down. Let's see some beautiful Orc Shaman play coming in by Ronan so far, up to 84 kills. If he can scare off the rest of the kind of quick skirmish units, he can definitely do some hit and run tactics with Grom, and Overwatch 5, the Savage Orcs, should do some fantastic work. Looks like the Night Goblins trying to force their way into the back here. I think the Shade Wraith Gunners don't be able to do too much damage, but of course these guys are unbreakable. They could just walk their way by and at least shut down the mortar for now. Bombers trying to get in here, do some effective damage, but there's a lot of Greenskins still left. And it looks like they're starting to overextend and overchase in little areas. It's a good idea to chase off the Savage Orc Biggins, but it is going to keep the Depth Guard out of the battle for a considerable amount of time. And due to the pace and added movability of Grom and the Greenskins in general, he's certainly going to pick on certain units. And it looks like the Hammer of Gork is back active as well, launching some arcing shots down the flank of these guys, tearing them up all good like. So it looks like Bombers have been fully finished off. Bounce power heavily in favour of the Greenskins. Now, not gone completely, but not fantastic. Scurvy Dogs, unfortunately, looks like they are still crumbling here. 2 units of Depth Guard, is it going to be enough? I just don't think they're going to be able to chase the Savage Orc Arrowboys. Looks like a Spirit Leech has been popped on the Snotling Pump Wagons, who are actually a really good counter, I guess, to the Death Guard with effective cycle charging. And now the Vampire Fleet Captain has got himself in a little bit of a pickle here. Looks like the Black Orcs were allowed to rally, and they could definitely surround this lady and slowly pull her down, as Grom can also come in here and do some decent work. He's got to be a little bit careful if she does have a halberd. Savage Orc Biggins are being completely forced off here, but they've taken the real long route, going to the very corner of the map. Dragging these Depth Guard across the whole battlefield is an absolute nightmare. Looks like something of Depth Guard trying to get into action. If Ronin doesn't notice this, guys, he could be in trouble. But it looks like all his forces are going to turn and start shooting. And that's all he needs to do, really, is turn and shoot these guys to death. Scurvy Dogs are being completely disintegrated here. And in comes all those arcing shots. You'll see more and more Depth Guard are going to be going down. Even a couple of rocks being loosed as well. Some Orc Biggins are actually going to be taking the fight here. Of course, Depth Guard do have the hunger, I believe, so they should be healing up in combat. But with all the archer fire as well, yeah, you can see these guys going to start to crumble relatively quickly. And Savage Orc Biggins are no slouches in combat as well. They can go toe-to-toe with the best of the lads. Looks like Mortar is still active in the distance here. Night Goblins did actually clear out those Shade Wraith Gunners in combat very effectively and have hopped on top of the Mortar. And there's no way back here, I don't think, for the Pirates. Depth Guard being dragged down here. And over in this main engagement, there's a really nice Soul Blight come down, and perhaps if he can assassinate Grom, perhaps there's a way this unit of Depth Guard stacked on top of the Vampire Fleet Admiral can hold the lines. But a Scroll of Shielding has been popped on Grom, making him very, very tanky. Black Hawks as well, dealing okay damage against the Depth Guard here, who have chevroned up a little bit. So Grom trying his best, but he probably wants to fall back here. There's no real point risking this engagement, in my opinion. Fall back to your Archer gun line, your Hammer of Gork and so forth. Make the Vampire Coast walk all the way back here, taking missile fire the whole time, and then just cycle charge with Grom. Depth Guard being dragged down here. Looks like armor losses are going to be setting in relatively soon. Orc Shaman going to be falling back, so is Grom. Scroll of Shielding, really good item overall. It activates for so long here. Looks like that poor Vampire Fleet Admiral did walk into a tree there and kind of clang her head a little bit. But yeah, there's too many archers online. The Hammer of Gork isn't going to help too much in this situation. It can clear out a little bit of the Depth Guard, but it also helps the balance of power greatly. Grom simply going to be falling back. It's the right thing to do here. And the Depth Guard are going to be shot to pieces here, unfortunately. More shots do come in. Depth Guard down to 27 mortals, up to 107 kills. These guys have been very powerful overall. But yeah, Savage Orc Cowboys suddenly fall back. Some huge rocks came in and clobbered some of those poor beleaguered vampires here. Looks like we are going to have a Gaze of Mork as well, possibly coming into this Vampire Fleet Admiral. Here it does come, and doing some okay damage overall. Grom considering charging in, but falling back, dragging away the Vampire Fleet Admiral, and allowing the Depth Guard just to be kited into oblivion here. Is there anything left that could come back? There's some Savage Orc Biggins, but none of the coasts that kind of overextended and chased anywhere. It is what you see is what you get, and it is down to 21 models versus 290. And when one of those 290 is Grom, you know you're in trouble. Van Horstman's Speculum has been dropped, really neutral him. Grom quite heavily here, but he can simply fall back if he wanted to. De Great Un is here as well, has been popped. Going to be counteracting that at least slightly. Orc Shaman trying his best here. Are we getting another Soul Blight? We do. Grom, just fall back, buddy. There's no need to fight this. The Depth Guards do get shot in the back there by Savage Orc Arrowboys and pulled down. And the Vampire Fleet Admiral is going to be disintegrating and falling into the dust here. So 1-1. Fantastic play by both players. Good stuff. Oh, correction. Savage Orc Arrowboys can beat Scurvy Dogs if they get their charge off. I mean, at least they hold the line, you know, punch back to a decent amount. I really do like Ronin's army quite a lot. The Savage Orc theme is always fantastic to see, and also Grom as well did some decent work. 70 kills and added some extra mobility. He managed to catch a lot of the Scurvy Dogs, and even though he managed to spot them early and bring them and the Night Terrors down, they still got okay kills across the board, especially this unit here. Glorious Bloated Corpse as well, 27 kills, doing some decent work, but not quite enough, unfortunately. Depth Guard did some good work as well, but the deckhand mobs just got ran over, and the bombers couldn't really get any value because of those Savage Orc Arrowboys and some really nice skirmishing coming in by Ronin and the Greenskins. GG. So we are going to be switching the map up now. And let us go. Let's just go Glacial Lake. Nice close quarters. Bloated Boy made it. Caught him on stream. Good stuff. Forgive me for all the teasing, Ronan. Oh, A move, you're getting a little bit scared now. Ronan might be able to win this. I know a lot of people don't like Glacial Lake, but it's nice close quarters and gets underway nice and quickly. There's a few problems people have with this hole right here, and people being able to kind of camp alongside it. I pick 3 factions now. Yes. Yep. They kind of become the standard, and I actually really like this new format of picking 3 factions. Your opponent bans one, you pick, or they ban one and pick, and then you pick. I think it's a pretty good way of working. A savage war indeed, David. GG's. The motion in the ocean. Yeah, a counter trap. Yeah, that's basically what it was. It worked very effectively there. Lured in those scurvy dogs and hit them with the pump wagons and Grom. Did some good stuff. I imagined pump wagons would be much bigger. Well, they're only roving around by slot lens, I suppose. So, in comparison to them, it's pretty good. Such a bloaty boy. The best of the bloaty boys. You like both ideas, Pactor. Awesome. Well, I'm going to figure out one. But it's going to be good fun. It's for a good cause as well. I'll let A-Move explain it more. I mean, I think he's mentioned it on some of the Discords. Because I don't want to, like, say anything and be, like, mistaken with what I say, basically. Storm, you're an absolute champ, but... Boop, reminding me about the scoreboard. Like, I don't want to get any, like, information wrong, basically. But, yeah, basically A-Move's, I got a family member who's very ill, so we're going to be doing a charity stream. To try and raise some money, which should be some good fun. At the same time, if you don't have any money to like contribute to charity and stuff, that's obviously completely fine as well. Feel free to come through and support regardless. Glacial Lake. Oh, AK, I gotta let my monitor brightness. Damn, I was blinding. We can switch if you both don't like the map. Just put them on something like Black Ark Landing to punish them. We'll simply like go Gorgazon or something if... Actually, I'll look up the other small maps to go on. Oh, looks like they want to switch, so we will quickly open up my maps. So I think we've had another small one. Oh god, I can't remember what Stir River is, or Mosquito Swamp. I'll go still into, I suppose. I try and do a nice mixture of small, medium, and large maps. As long as Raptor does not choose the map or Aristo, I'm down. Let's go. Is this a terrible map or a good map? No, I don't remember. We will see. Is this best of 3? Yes, it is, and in the finals will be best of 5. To answer your questions, my dude. Cool, that's a fun one. Good, good, good. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through the finals relatively quickly. Because I'd love to stream for as long as possible, but I've got work very early tomorrow morning. It's already 10 here and I haven't eaten yet. So, we will see. That's why I normally don't stream on Mondays, but of course wanted to reorganise and stuff. And it's been a fantastic turnout, so I can't really complain, to be honest. Like, regardless, I can always lose a little bit of sleep and make up for it some other time. At least I can keep my sight. That is indeed true. I feel deeply offended. Raptors maps are a... They're something. They're certainly something. Who's the best map picker, Aristo or Raptor? It's tough to say who between them. I feel like Aristo is the originator. Because he did obviously like the Coffee Cup and so forth, which is notorious for bad maps. But Raptor's like certainly a close second, if not slowly overtaking him here with his crazy maps. Black Ark Landings and so forth. Altars of Chaos. Let's hope Ronin doesn't get creamed in the ace match. Mosquito is small. I may do that one in the finals at some point, Coin Life. I'm trying to think if it's competitive though. I want to do relatively well balanced maps, of course. I pick High Elves and ban Dark Elves. Cool, cool. Who did he go for here? Dun, dun. Okay, Ronan went to High Elves, Wood Elves, and Dark Elves. So he wanted to bring his Elf factions there. I know he's a bit of a Wood Elf player. Very good one as well. But High Elves is certainly an annoyance. This is the weird part where we could do a mirror match. I can hear Rubber Duck of War screaming now. Mirror matches are certainly something to cast. I've had to do them before, and Jesus, they're a pain in the butt. But it's like Faust trying to trick Ronan here into playing Wood Elves. Wood Elves not very good up against High Elves, in my opinion. But, oh dear God, dear God. No. Cries in Duck. Looks like we have a High Elf mirror match coming down. Oh my God. This is certainly going to be something. But honestly, so I joke around so much with the full Rohan build and so forth. It works really good up against other High Elves, or it used to. But of course with the new DLC stuff, who knows. Aristo picks maps that are good for Troll Tournament, damn right. So you claim Raptor's a copycat. Not a copycat. He's the innovator, and Aristo's the originator. Raptor's taken his form and improved. I'm trying to think of a still in Tomb. Like, I'm looking at the map now and I can't remember what it is like. But we will see. I love a good mirror. I do not. I do not. Mirror matches are horrible. We had a Lizardman mirror a while ago, which was okay. I think Tic-Tac-Toe was used, so at least it was kind of funny. This is going to be painful. I want to see Dragon on Dragon action. If I don't see Imric versus Imric, I'm going to cry. Now, one unit I think is probably the most OP thing to come from the DLC, in my opinion. Not saying like it has to be changed hugely or anything, and it maybe just take a while for people to learn how to defeat it. I've seen a lot of people going on about the greenskins, but Teclis on that goddamn Flaming Phoenix, Arcane Phoenix of his is so unkillable. He is such a pain, and with his sword, he gets a crazy amount of Winds of Magic. So, you know, you can even roll him with a Star Dragon, get a ton of regrowths, and still use Net kind of constantly throughout the battle, and still have Winds of Magic to spare. I did do a video recently actually of kind of like how to take him down, at least with Norskins, with a build that I've kind of changed from, I think, I can't remember how I saw use it first, possibly Papa Palpatine, and then I kind of switched up from there and changed it around a little bit. But I think it can be a relatively decent counter to Teclis. He doesn't do the most damage on that eagle, but on the Phoenix, sorry, but he just does not die. Imric versus Elfarion. I haven't actually used Elfarion yet. The Warden. I need to. I think, well, from what I've heard, he's a bit overpriced, unfortunately. Oh, that was it, Storm! The Chaos matchup. Yeah, we had a Chaos versus Chaos. Mirrorguard on Mirrorguard. Sigvald on Sigvald, I think? It was ridiculous. And they like met in the middle as well. It was so funny. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. I think that was in a King of the Hill. War Lions can be really good here. Yeah, I can see him doing decent. The Regiment Renowned ones are one of my favourite units, like, thematically. They just look so cool. Oh, this guy's on the matchups. Just going to quickly check Discord. Looks like we're arguing the herd. These are our matchups up. Or maps, sorry, for the final. We'll definitely at some point be playing on Alpine Ridge, of course. As is tradition. We'll probably go something like Gorgzan, Alpine Ridge. All that good stuff. Maybe even get them on Troll Country one more time. Cool. So any questions, guys? Feel free to ask now while we're in this a little bit of downtime. Oh, that was you two, Noob and Storm. You guys are the suspects for that Chaos Mirror match. It was good fun. It was all in good fun, but yeah. Casting it is certainly a struggle. It is indeed. Ooh, big old stretch. It's been a long day, but a good day. Kind of overseeing the tournament. You'd think I'd just get to kind of chill and just wait for the semi-finals, but there's a lot of little admin-y stuff you do, so I've kind of been focused on that all day. But everyone makes it very easy, luckily. Everyone's been very easy to get on with, and I've been happy with everyone who's played so far. We've had some good games as well. Some very good games. Looks like one of them is ready. Faust. I wish one of them had like gone for a sub-faction, but I know it does kind of new to you a little bit. I'm a big fan of the Law of Metal with High Elves. I think it's very powerful and combined with their archers. Especially if you go with the new RR ones. Damn, this build is terrible. I love it, Ronin. I love it already, I can tell. Going like rush around archers who imbue that fire damage upon an enemy, or that fire weakness. And sisters combined can be so powerful. They're both saying they have terrible builds. If it's Rohan on Rohan, I will cry in happiness. At least people will enjoy it. Hopefully, and these guys put on a fantastic show so far. Looks like the boy Faust is indeed ready. Which one of these champs do you think is going to be able to break through this semi-final and run into Sooth for the final of this qualifier? So this is qualifier number 3, guys. There is still a number 4. And you'll be able to get all details on that over the next couple of days. I will set up another challenge page. It's going to be next week at some point. Probably more likely a Wednesday or a Thursday or something along those lines. And that will be the last chance to break yourself into the grand finals for this season. And this season has been the biggest and best yet as well. 100%. They've kind of grown each season, to be honest. Season 2 was fantastic. Season 3 was also brilliant. I remember the Season 2 finals being pretty crazy. I think it was between Chosen One and Flying Taco. And yeah, it was some wild stuff. Some wild stuff indeed. I'm just going to ready up. So when Ronin is ready, we can hop straight in. Into the glory. If anyone can let me know how long we've been streaming for as well, that would be grand. Extreme Meme Team for the win. New for Life repping his Extreme Meme Team buddy here. Let's go. Sweet, sweet. Looks like you're just adding 1 or 2 chevrons there. High Elf on High Elf. Has there been many High Elf Civil Wars? I know, of course, the High Elf and Dark Elf split, but that's 2 pretty key factions. I was wondering if there's any other stories of just like High Elf on High Elf violence. I don't think so. I think the only big Civil War is obviously the Sundering. I can't think of any other times. I think in the end times, Kalador perhaps decides to go independent or something. I know Imric's got a bit of a stick up his bum. And wants to be Phoenix King and stuff. And Aaron 40, awesome, making pretty good time then. Normally diff before Dishonour is about 2.5 hours to 3. Obviously we start at kind of different times and so forth now because it's a bit more of a loose time with the amount of players we have coming in. Hope you're pumped up for your finals as well, Need for Life. You, of course, are going to be one of the challengers. And here we go. Oh, it's this map. I don't mind this map. It's relatively small. 2 hills either side as well, so you can go quite defensive, or you can run down into this lovely open dip here in the middle and just start going for a real blood and thunder affair, ripping limbs, rendering armor, and all that good stuff. And oh, the glory! The glory! Ronin is an absolute champ. Absolute champ. But anyway, let's have a quick look first and foremost at Faust's build. So coming with double Illyrian Reavers in the front line, and the Fireborn, a very risky pick in my opinion in this matchup, because yes, they're, you know, elite of the elite Dragon Princes, but at the same time, they do fire damage, which means they actually lose to basic Dragon Princes in a one-on-one fight. So I'm not sure how I feel about them really, but we'll have to see how they do. We do come in with another unit of Dragon Princes, and then we'll be rolling dirty with Imric the Dragon Prince here, rolling with his homies. Looks like he's bringing all his buffs, his horn, his lance, and the debuff as well. So Lord of Dragons, very powerful, Dragon Horn pretty good, and Star Lance. So pretty good fun stuff. I mean, Star Lance does work quite thematically, I suppose, with the regiment around Dragon Princes. We do have a Mage of Metal coming with Plague of Rust, and then Spearmen for days in the front line. We also have 1-2 line Chariots of Chase. These guys are fantastic. Look how awesome. Oh, don't whip him. Look how awesome these white lions look. They can do a decent amount of damage as well. I thought it would be more like a friendly bond ship, like line and kind of master rather than the whipping, but still decent armor piercing and can stay in maintained combat for a relatively long time as well. So it looks like that is going to be it for the build for the most part. I don't think I've missed anything there. Now for the forces of Ronin going full out and out cav build, we do have Illyrian Reavers, 2 archers as well, which is going to be really good for counter skirmishing. We have Dragon Princes, Silver Helms rolling dirty with Imric. So Imric versus Imric here. He is not bringing his Star Lance, but he is in fact bringing the Dragonhorn and Lord of Dragons. In the centre pocket, we do have a Mage of Life coming with Regrowth, Earthblood, Book of Hoeth, more Silver Helms, Dragon Princes, Silver Helms, and a Noble on a Chariot, who is anti-infantry, I suppose, instead of his anti-large variety. So 2 really fun builds. Rohan is very, very pleased. Both factions have a lot of cav, especially Ronins. Looks like the Illyrian Reavers have been dropped into the back lines here. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, are these just Spearmen or Silver and Guard? All Spearmen. So to be honest with it, effective counter charging, these guys are going to get 0 value. But if they saturate on top of some of those big engagements, they should be fine. The Fireborn, they're going to do great up in Silver Helms, I suppose. But if they get tangled up with other Dragon Princes, that's going to be really not very cost effective. Let's go. Let's rock it and shock it. These builds are beautiful. Beautiful. Imric looks so cool. I actually really like him. I think Imric on his... so I was reading chat there quickly. I think Imric on his horse actually looks a little bit more balanced than him on his dragon. He just looks so goddamn good enough him. So Illyrian Reavers instantly going to be going after the Lion Chariots of Chase. These guys, of course, do have some missile resistance. In come the Dragon Princes and Silver Helms. Come for a big old fat charge. Spearmen do brace here, but you can brace all you want. But that is a lot of Lancers coming down, and they take only a little bit of damage, actually. So it was a pretty good brace in the end. Illyrian Reavers going to be trying to fall back from the Fireborn and Dragon Princes and drag them away. Looks like there's going to be a huge cav engagement on this right-hand side. If Ronin can pull apart the cav and draw it away from the Spearmen, he can certainly show his dominance by popping on top of them. Great defensive play by the Spearmen so far, though, always managing to brace just before the enemy does charge in. He needs to wrap one of these Silver Helms up and around and slam into the back of these Spearmen to really break them quickly. And once they're running, you can grab them off the field very quickly. Looks like Imric is just rolling around here. Illyrian Reavers have been caught by Illyrian Reavers up on the high ground, although it looks like some archers are nearby to help out. So the red High Elves are indeed Ronin and the blue ones are indeed Faust, just for your guys' interest. So the Helms, Plague of Rust are going to be getting deleted, but looks like Imric is getting in here and dropping some Fireborn very close to the enemy Imric. Dragon Princes are in here as well, but Lord of Dragons has been popped on them. I don't think this Imric has popped that yet. The big fat Earthblood, I think, was coming down. Yes, Earthblood down on for Faust there. Going to be healing up, and he's certainly winning this cav engagement, which shouldn't be happening. Really needs to pull back, get away, and just slowly crump the enemy where he can, drag them out of position. But if he can escape here with Dragon Princes and Imric and so forth, and get healed up, he should be relatively good, as it looks like he is kind of crumping Spearmen all around the rest of the battlefield. Looks like all lines of Chase have over-engaged slightly. Illyrian Reavers have to fall back, though, as well as these Illyrian Reavers in the trees. They can't go toe-to-toe with a mighty chariot. And the big engagements are starting to go in the way of Faust here. The Fireborn up to 11 kills, doing pretty decent work here. Slowly dragging down the enemies and hunting off. Looks like they're going to be going after the Silver Helms, which is a really rise pick. They just do not want to tower with other Dragon Princes at the moment. And these ones, unfortunately, are going down. It looks like Imric has been sniped by Imric, and the help of Lion Chariot of Chase. Looks like he's got pulled in, unfortunately, by the Spearmen. It was some relatively okay engagements coming by Ronin, but they need to happen further away from the reinforcing elements of Faust's army. The Spearmen saturated on top, Chariots, and some better uses of the debuffs as well really did, unfortunately, punish Imric and his Dragon cohort. Lion Chariots of Chase certainly coming for that Imric booty here. Look at these guys absolutely thundering across the dirt here, salivating at the mouth, sorry, to try and pull down Imric as he does start to fall away. They're going to get easily chased to the battlefield. I think with that, it's going to be a big struggle. Fighting to the left there, though, Dragon Princes have managed to surround some Lion Chariots of Chase, but they do pretty decent armor piercing, so, they're not the worst counter. Illyrian Reavers have been forced back. Dragon Princes fleeing for the hills here as a huge and vengeful force of High Elves. Silver Helms, Noble, Dragon Princes is come clashing in to try and avenge their Lord Imric into a huge blob fight here. Without their debuffs, it's going to be pretty tough. Imric can simply float over here. Looks like Big Earthblood has gone down, but so has Plague of Rust and Lord of Dragons on top of that Noble. Although, I'd probably rather have dropped it on top of the Silver Helms and really kind of crumped them down. Dragon Prince and so forth. Noble might be a little bit hard to pin out in such a large engagement. Mage of Life just floats around the back lines here. We do have some Illyrian Reavers coming back. Looks like they were contemplating trying to go save Imric, but he's been escorted offline here by Lion Chariots of Chase. And the rest across the battlefield, Spearmen are doing, okay. I mean, they're getting pretty crumbed by Silver Helms and so forth, but at least it's distracting double Silver Helms, and they're going to be helping this main engagement. If those Silver Helms were here now, getting some decent rear charges into this big blob, I think he would certainly be in a better position. Elena Reaver's doing some good skirmishing overall, but they are firing mainly into Spearmen, need to hunt down this Mage of Metal. And I think they'd be in a good place. The final transmutation would have been horrible up against this build. So the Helms have started to rally back here, but they need to be coming in and doing some big rear attacks. As Imric can comfortably here go toe-to-toe up against Chariot. He's perfect for dealing that anti-large. Chariot's relatively slow as well at escaping here, getting caught up by trees and so forth. And I think the true Imric has shown his colours here, forcing his way here through. Earthblood does go down, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. More Silver Helms do come in, but they're charging through their own troops, which is going to neuter their effectiveness slightly. They need to get those rear attacks in, but I don't think it really matters at this point. Balance of power is relatively in favour here of Faust. Chariot starting back as well, forcing away the Silver Helms and protecting some of these Spearmen. And now there is this big blob fight. Spearmen are going to work wonders. We can see one unit already saturated in here. Slowly going to be dragging down Dragon Princes and so forth. They don't have the most armor piercing, but that anti-large does eventually add up. Looks like the Noble finally decided to pop out of that engagement and start running over some Spearmen, which is really great micro here by Ronan. Really scrapping to the death here, doing some huge damage across the board, trying to get the Illyrian Reavers to change the course of battle and the help of the Mage of Life, whilst cycle charging the enemy infantry with the Noble. Really good play. Looks like we do have a big old Earthblood coming in, so we do in fact have a Mage of Life plus a Mage of Metal for Faust. I was wondering about some of those Earthbloods and so forth earlier. Fireborn, overextended Earthblood, going to get held up really nicely here. Dragon Princes with Plague of Rust as well, started to break. Arminos is settling in, and it's mainly just the Drags and Dregs, and the Skirmishers left, unfortunately for Ronan. A few shots are launching over though, trying to drag these guys down as much as possible, but they don't have the most AP or damage output in general. They're more of a harass unit, darting into the back line and trying to take away squishy targets, but there's a lot of armoured knights here. 2 line Chariots of Chase as well, can honestly charge in and do some really good work against them. Looks like the final unit of Dragon Princes for Ronan has been forced off here. And Silver Helms just darting around, but what can they do? What can men do against such reckless Emrics? He did the business on the other Emric, riding around here, looking very regal, although blood-stained right now. He does in fact lower his lance just before he charges, which does look pretty badass as well. Silver Helm's trying to kite away at the moment and get a better engagement, but Lion Chariots of Chase are hunting them down. A really nice pick overall, up to 12 kills, which is nothing crazy, but they have the Master Pinning Cav, and so that arm piercing really certainly does indeed have. Yeah, Silver Helm's coming in. I do hear a Vuvuzela in the distance. I can't remember who said it sounded like a Vuvuzela, but that's been stuck in my mind now as Imric does blaze the dragon horn there, puts it to his lips, and unleashes a bellow of the Vuvuzela. Get in here, and they're going to be helping his entire army, getting a bit of extra melee attack, plus 24, and causing fear. You would hope the nobles and very elite high elves here wouldn't fear anything, but I suppose the sight of Imric would be a little bit scary. Lion Chariots of Chase slowly dragging down the Silver Helms here in sustained combat. Illyrian Reavers attempting to dart in here and save the situation, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Lion Chariots probably going to be able to solo that engagement, as the second unit does dart over as well. Going for a nice charge here, slightly uphill. They're going to be popping on top of these Silver Helms, hammering into the flank here. Yeah, these guys aren't going to stand a chance. They are in fact breaking. There's still the Mage of Life darting around, trying her best to heal up and keep her troops in action. Noble once again going after Imric, but he is so good and designed to take these targets down. Do have some Silver Helms dotted in here, trying to fight up against the Firebomb, which is not a good engagement for them, and unfortunately Nova is being pulled apart by Imric, up to 35 kills, but he's been really able to kind of get those key engagements. Flamesfire is really good in the mirror. If they should take a dragon, it has 70% fire resistance. Yeah, that's really good actually, and go toe-to-toe the bigger, more expensive beasts. Very well played. I love the Rohan build. It's very cool. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite able to pay off. He kind of got stuck in a big engagement on that right-hand flank when he needed to try and pull away the enemy cav from the spearmen and so forth a little bit earlier and wrap around with that second unit of Dragon Princes to help him that main engagement, because he definitely could have won it. The Fireborn would have been really neutered if they got into bad engagements, but really nice play by both players overall. I really like the inclusion of the metal as well, just for that Plague of Rust to help his Dragon Princes and cav win the key engagements. Lion Chariots of Chase as well, decent AP. GG, Rohan is proud. So basically my 90 cav lost to your 2. GG man, great games. So, Mr. Soothsayer, if you are in chat, please do join the lobby. Password is 123. While I'm off, have a good one. Cheers, Raptor. Thank you for hanging around anyway, man. Don't worry, the whole thing will be uploaded as well. YouTube at the moment, for some reason, is taking forever to upload streams. So I think if you type it in, you can still find it while it's uploading and just watch it as a stream instead of a video. But the finals will be up, so don't worry about it, man. You can always come back and check out some other time. Emmerich's horse looks like an anime. It looks so badass, though, man. So badass. Why bring a fireball in a high elf mirror? Well, it's very risky. They do fantastic work in Silver Helms and so forth, but against other Dragon Princes and Phoenixes and so forth, yeah, it's certainly a risk and reward kind of payoff. Love the matches, but I hate Dungeon of Champions. I feel so sorry for Ronan, but what a fantastic champ. Really good tournament overall, taking down some fantastic players and doing some good work. But now is the time for the final showdown of Ultimate Destiny. So we are going to start. Let's go Gorkazan. Boom. Let's update the scoreboard. Oh, got a message on Discord. Oh, there's someone looking to play, that's fine. So, Faust did take that 2-1 there. Let's get in the mighty Sooth, who doesn't need any more introductions. You guys know who he is by now. And we'll see what happens in this best of 5. Here's the man, the myth, the legend. Hey. So, Kazan is the map. Boom. There we go. Smash the like button. Yes! Wickedy! He speaks the truth, people. Can't smash it harder or it will break. Yes, every time you like the stream, not only does it make a duck happy, it also brings a glorious puppy into the world, which is a beautiful thing. Do I have any drink left? Yes, I do. Perfect. Last little bit to get me hyped here. Ooh, Sooth already going Empire. That's what they do decide. It's going to be the same pick and ban system as before. So it's all good. And if it does go all the way to the 5th matchup, do we do blinds? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. GG's to Faust. We must all root for him now. He needs his strength. Yeah, Ronan, man, you had a fantastic tournament, man. Really great showing, dude. That was some very good stuff. That game, go back and listen to my commentary on that game. I didn't know what to say at the end with your Norskans going up against the Tomb Kings. It was insane. Insane stuff. Actually, was that your game? Or was that in the first round? No, that was your game, surely. My god, my mind has completely gone. Oh, looks like Faust might be running out of time. So if are you happy to make this a best of 3, not 5, if Duck is okay with that? We will see. If Faust has run out of time, we can do. If Soothsayer agrees to it, if he wants to do best of 5, then we'll have to keep it best of 5. So best of 3 actually helps me quite a lot, because I might be able to actually eat something before I sleep, but I don't want to rush anyone. That's totally fine with me. No worries, we can do best of 3. Yeah, I got work early tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. I'm in the same boat, Faust, so don't worry about it, bud. I've got to go to bed in about an hour, so I need to try and grab some food. I got to see Norskans versus Tomb Kings. Yeah, man, you got to go back and watch that. It was insane. So, best of 3 final, guys. So, sorry about that. You're going to miss out on a game or 2. But hopefully we'll see a great set of games anyway. And I understand real life has to come before these kind of things. You know, if Faust's got work and stuff, I don't want him going into work tired and scarred from an encounter with the Soothsayer. So, looks like Sooth is going green skins. He's certainly been practicing them recently. I saw him use them quite a lot in recent King of the Hills and so forth. Banning Counts and Tomb Kings. And it looks like Faust is going Dark Hills. Going to be an interesting matchup. Lots of fast and hard-hitting cav. Faust may go for the skirmish game, Perhaps that's why he wants to switch down to best of 5. He's like, don't worry, lads. These games are going to be 20 minutes each minimum. Minimum. Nice to see so many people watching. You are here for the finals in this best of 3 showdown between Faust and Soothsayer. And these guys have been playing since 4:30, which it's 10:30 now. So they've been in it for an absolute slugfest. And it's finally come down to just the two. The ultimate showdown, ultimate destiny, all that good stuff. Who is your money on? I think it's certainly fair to say Faust is an underdog in the situation. Soothsayer's reputation speaks for himself, but Faust has certainly shown us he can rock it with the best of them in the past and in this tournament. But 45 has become 2, and 2 shall soon become 1. Let's double check Discord and everything. Make sure everything's all good, make sure the stream strength is fine. I'm just going to update that score. So I'm just typing the score of the other semi-final onto challenge. And there we go. Faust versus Soothsayer final. Well, these boys pick their builds. Yeah, Rowan, don't worry, man. You can definitely go back and watch that game, by the way. So at the end of the stream, you can literally go straight back and watch it, because I've put on like playback or whatever it's called. But the video will kind of seemingly go offline or go invisible for a little while, but it's just because it's uploading. And YouTube's been taking like 24 hours to upload my streams recently for some reason, which is really annoying. It's like on their end, because none of that, like my computer can be turned off and stuff, and it doesn't affect like the upload. But who knows? Perhaps they're struggling with the whole virus thing. Working from home and stuff, they can't get everything up and running quick enough. And now we will see who wields true power. Indeed, Wicked D, indeed. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully we see some of the new tools from the greenskins. I've seen quite a few of the new tactics, but I'm sure it will develop over the next couple of weeks and we'll see more and more stuff. Looks like the greenskins are in fact ready. Good luck and have fun. Great sportsman as always. If you guys are enjoying as we're coming to this final set of games, I know I've said it multiple times, but I've got to now and again. Just remember, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good standard YouTube stuff. And if you want to get involved in the channel, I do have a Discord down below, as well as a Patreon account if you want to support in any other way. On our road to, I guess the next milestone would be 1,000 subs, I suppose. I guess that's our next target. I was very happy to hit 500. We actually hit 500 from 100 quicker than we hit 0 to 100, so, you know, snowballing and all that good stuff. Ronan, you got creamed. Ronan did very good, man. We need to see Pacta back as well. Pacta, I think Pacta got into the semi-finals last time we did one of these. And you. Awesome. Looks like Faust is nearly ready. Just making some final adjustments there. I'll ready up just when these guys are good to go. Gorgazon. Nice big open map as well. Really good for casting and can do some decent tactical knowledge. So we are going to start on this map. We'll definitely get in Alpine Ridge as well. Probably game 3. And try and mix it up a little bit with some other maps. I really feel for you in that Northern game. That was so close. I cast a game not too long ago, which was Dark Elves versus High Elves, and it came down to Lokir Felheart up against an out of ammunition Alephanar, a beat up unit of Dragon Princes, and one other unit like Spearmen or something. And I think the game ended with Felheart, where his name is, with like 120 health or something, winning the game. It was crazy. It was frustrating. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Like, this game's so good, and even if you're a good sport, like, losing can be... Some games are just so frustrating. So anyway, for the forces of Faust, looks like he's certainly going to be going for a heavy skirmish game here, which can do pretty good at picking apart the greenskins, but they're very fast as well, so it can be tough. I do have some Black Guard of Nagron. Those are some fantastic staying powers to go against the big monsters, mixed in with a couple of units of Dread Spears, but a very small front line, certainly going to get surrounded and crumped relatively quickly. But the main punch of his army comes in the form of Silicious Harvesters, Regiment around Doomfire Warlocks, triple Dark Rider repeater crossbows, very common pick in tournaments. These guys fast moving AP, absolute pain to deal with. Got Cold War Knights, Dark Riders, Dark Riders, and some more Dread Spears. Do have a nice little flying corps here, and is this a Deathcaster? Of course it is. We have a Deathcaster, kind of a Spirit Leech, and I believe that's Doom and Darkness. Let's just go double check. Boop, Doom and Darkness, minus 16 leadership bomb. Very powerful, of course, up against the flimsy leadership of the Greenskins. We also have a High Beastmaster. Wild pick here. Don't get to see this guy too often until his Armoured Manticore. The Armoured Manticore model is very, very cool. So he is going to be coming in, and it looks like with just Whiplash, which is some nice buffs to himself. Tormentor Sword to pin enemies in place is a very good ability. Anything which pins in a unit is very good in multiplayer. And he does have Beast Slayer and all that good stuff. Now, for the forces of the Greenskins, it looks like in the front line we have a mixture of Orc Boys, Regiment around Night Goblins once again, Orc Boys, and basic Goblins. So going relatively wide here. We just have double Orc Boar Boys. Now these guys are actually going to be able to go toe-to-toe relatively effective up against a lot of the Shock Cav of the Dark Elves. They've been greatly improved with that huge bonus to their armour. It looks like we have a Giant River Troll Death Hag coming in with Spirit Leech. We have double... Oh, Goblin Wolf Chariots. Okay, this is some interesting stuff. I don't get to see guys often at all. These chariots are tiny. They're like the size of an orc, led by the wolves here. I basically never see these guys, so not too much to say about them. Very limited missile damage, but yeah, going to be cool to see how they're used, I suppose. We do have some Savage Orc Boar Boy Big Uns. Wall of Mouthful there in the back here. Going to be very cool now. They're huge choppers looking glorious. We have Dirkit Squig Hoppers, Regiment around Night Goblin Squigs, mixed in with some more Orc Boar Boys. We do have the Hammer of Gork as well in the back lines. And for leadership, we have a Goblin Big Boss coming in once again with They Need Stabbing, which is a very powerful ability, minus 30 armor, minus 24 defense, and Snarsneck, which surely is coming with the fungi, I suppose. Fermented fungi, minus 24 melee defense, and rampage. So, the first time you pop this, the target you hop it on has to be below 80% health for it to apply the rampage. It will still apply the melee defense. Now, after you've done it once, I believe it comes down to 50%, and it kind of keeps going down like that. So, you can't use it constantly on the same target. Spited Bad Moon as well has had huge improvements in language of plus 16 bonus versus large, plus 25% armor piercing weapon damage, and base weapon damage is very clutch. So really cool build overall. Looks like I have some Goblin Wolf Rider archers as well on the other flank that I forgot to mention, but that's about it. Is this the, oh no, just basic guys. So no Broken Tusslov, unfortunately. It's going to be an interesting skirmish game. Can the Dark Elves do enough damage early on without taking too much to be able to carry through? It's going to be tough. The added armor certainly helps. He's also got some of his skirmishers of his own. Goblin Wolf Rider archers can very easily push back the enemy and so forth. And Goblin Wolf Chariots, I'm really interested to see how these guys perform. They're very fast, coming in with 92 speed here. And they can do some decent cycle charge, and I suppose they have okay. Looks like they both dropped. That's not good. And I can't invite anyone. Oh no. The lobby is bugged out. What's happened? Hopefully it's not my internet. Please let me know if you can see me, guys. No, if this is my internet, I'm gonna freak. No, I can still see battles. The focus on the finals. Steam or stream, Ronan? Steam or stream? Oh god, what map were we on? Gorgazan. Yeah, let me know if you can see me. So Faust is here. Steam is down, okay. So hopefully it goes straight back up here. I would hate to have to cast these like after the fact. It's been such a good tournament. Okay, looks like the stream's still good. Excellent connection. Oh no. No. For a sec, the stream interrupted. Can you still see and hear me? Let me know. It's like Faust is in. Yes, perfect. Perfect, thank you. Okay, God, I had a panic attack. Our internet went down for midstream, like just halfway through. I can't open chat for some reason. Oh, what is going on? Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to back out and rehost. The Steam's down, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So we do this on Monday, not Tuesdays. Oh, please say they're not updating. It is quite late on Monday. I know they do most of their updates on Tuesday. Failed toast game. Poo. Yeah, quick battles are down. Oh, extreme. Okay, as long as you guys can still see me and stuff, so I know it's not my internet, that's all good. Yeah, our internet went like completely down the other day, like across all of London, Virgin Media went down and died. So that was a nightmare. But it looks like it's on Steam's end right now. This is so annoying. Right when we don't have time. Okay, looks like back up. Chat's still down. Steam, what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah, Faust, indeed. It won't let me speak to you guys in chat. We can try and do a game, see if it holds, if you guys can hop in the lobby. But I won't be able to chat to you, which is going to be a big pain for organisation. But we do same builds and everything on the way in. And hopefully it'll stabilise after that, perhaps. We can always discuss these things via Discord. If not, we're going to have to do the games offline and I'll have to cast them or something tomorrow after work. Which would suck. I guess it would give you a nice showcase of your abilities. We had such a good tournament. I don't want to split it into two. So we'll try. We will try. Okay, Faust and Sue, if you can hear me in stream, try to join back in and see. I don't know if it's going to let you boys. I suppose it adds to the drama of the late game. Trying to figure out. Friends list isn't even there. Let's try this once more. Okay, quick battles is back. That's a good sign. This, however, is not a good sign. I'll have to message these guys in Discord. We'll give it a couple of minutes. Hopefully it'll stabilise itself out. Oh god, there's like another... there's going to be so many Death Before Dishonour like things popping up. Failed toast game. No, I don't want to pop in that one. Let us see. Steam, why you do this? At least it didn't happen, you know, like we didn't get to see any of the semi-finals or anything. That'd be pretty terrible. Yeah, it's just not. It's not having it. Okay. They're both in it as well. Can I join as a spectate? Yes. Stay there. Work. God damn it. They're both in the lobby. Let's go, go, go. It's not looking good if it takes this long. Yeah, you can see games like dropping out and coming in like consistently at the moment, which kind of sucks. Make sure they message me on Discord. Not yet. Failed to join game, unspecified error. Why are you like this, Steam? and the whole thing's not even there anymore. So minor disaster in progress then? Yeah, it's a small one. Okay, back in, but again, chat just isn't there. We may, because I am going to run out of time, guys, we may have to do the finals as a separate video. Which I'll have time to cast them tomorrow evening. Or even live stream them tomorrow evening, I suppose, after work. So I finish at 5 PM. Probably get back at 6. Cast the best 5. The video would be up by like 7. But I want to do it live now. Screw Steam. And that depends if when those guys can play as well, actually. They might not be able to even get in a game against each other now. Which will be a nightmare, but we'll see. I wonder why it does it, though. So, Suf and I play tomorrow and send them in, or we can do it live tomorrow. Start the game and have same issues, Chris. Yeah, you guys can play tomorrow evening. I'll sort out with them. How's that? Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, this sucks. Yeah, we can play tomorrow. I'll be down live tomorrow if you are, Suf. Let's just say 7:30 PM BST, good. I should probably actually be doing this in Discord, but very unfortunate. Oh, Tuesday tomorrow as well. Tuesday is when Steam has all its goddamn problems. It's going to be a nightmare. I don't see any mental log plays at all. I'm probably going to ask them to send in replays, I'm afraid, because Steam messes up really bad on Tuesdays. That's when they do their maintenance. I don't want the same thing to happen, so I can always live cast it if that's what you guys would like. Maybe there's a Steam update, yeah. So I can always like live cast the replays, but actually getting people to play might not be the best idea. But we will sort it out. We could even do Wednesday. I can't do Wednesday. Go. Just some about them now, guys. But unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna have to do it later today. It looks like Soothsayer and Absolute Champ 7:30 BST would be fine with me. Curse your Steam. It's not my Steam. I think it's everyone's Steam, unfortunately. Oh, curse you, Steam. Yeah. It's back for me now. Perfect. Cool. So let's just one last try. Nah, there's just no games. Like, it pops up and seems to be working, like that, and then it just disappears again. Other people are playing, but perhaps they're in different locations to me. Chat's not back. And yeah, I can't even invite friends list. Sorry, guys. He is bending the Steam connection to play tomorrow, damn right. Sorry, man. It may be stayed where you are, dude, but maybe it's just... I don't know if they do the update in different countries first and so forth. But massive shout out to you guys for tuning in. It's been crazy so far. One of the best tournaments, hands down, I've ever done. And we still have the finals to look forward to tomorrow, which is pretty damn cool. So we will have Soothsayer up against Faust. It is either going to be live streamed at 7:30 BST tomorrow, which is British summertime, or I'll upload the videos roughly around that time. So tomorrow evening is when you'll get to see the fantastic games. I'm really annoyed about that. Which does kind of suck, but still very, very cool indeed. And time to say farewell to these champs. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them now. A cracking seam as always, thanks for it. Damn, I had a blast in this tournament. No worries, guys. It's been super good fun. Oh, wait, it seems to be working again for me. Oh. Soothsayer is in, but the chat isn't working, and I can't even invite anyone, so I feel like it's just going to go down. A cracking stream, as always. Thanks. No worries, Faust. Cheers for tuning in, man. We'll sort it out tomorrow. Alright guys, sorry about that, but still, great games overall. Massive shout out to all our competitors. V-Claw and Soothsayer in one semi-final doing a fantastic job. And of course, Ronan and Thousand, all 45 players who took part. It was a real fantastic set of games overall and some great fun. So until next time guys, peace, and as always, stay awesome.